Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
And a good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout Live right here on... I don't know why that's happening.
Break. That's why it's happening.
I think I know why this is happening. I could fix that very quickly here. There we go. That's much better. Welcome to the EST Hangout Live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tune in, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, although it's not live on podcast because we have to upload it after the show to put it up there, and it's just impossible to do. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, McCourt, Jasmine Sidhu with you here on the Hangout today. I was messing with the computer last week and forgot to set things back the way they're supposed to be.
Is it because you had to talk to the guy from Finland? From Long Did that mess with the settings?
Because then that would have come up on Friday during the show. It was something I did after. And I just forgot to put things back. So that's why weird things happened and it was a little clunky start. But it's a Monday and it's cold. And it's going to stay cold. Yeah, so get used to it.
And snowy this weekend.
Is it?
It's supposed to snow a bunch, yeah.
Aww. I'm thrilled, though, that it's cold when it snows. I hate when it's like that's like around zero. Because then it melts on the roads and stuff, and then it freezes into ice, and the roads are just crap for the entire winter season.
Yeah,
so at least it's a bare roads right now, and they're not going to have like that full ice melt on it.
That's a good point. Because icy roads suck.
Or when there's like those ruts in them, and like part of it's ice, and I hate winter. I hate winter. I need to move somewhere else.
Yeah. Why do we live here?
That's a great question. For me, it's my folks' fault.
Yeah.
But I could say that now there's a point of like, I guess I've been an adult long enough. I could go move.
Well, and we get
It's a great question.
We live in a city where there's been Wayne Gretzky and Connor McDavid. I mean, that's not a bad place to be able to go and watch those guys play hockey, but, you know.
This is a good point. And also, it's hunting season.
Well, and I like those kicks today. Like, those new or what?
No, I just try to keep them fresh. But, we got Bozone Live continuing, so I got to go from here to Bozone, then back here, and we're taking down some bucks.
Sick.
Well, you got a busy day with hunting and Oiler game tonight.
Yeah.
A little hangout. My goodness.
Yep. Great time at BP Westgate, by the way. We're at Hudson's White Avenue on the 21st for the pre- and post-game show. Kelly's Pub on the 23rd, which I think is amazing. Thank you, Quentin Phillips.
It's a homecoming.
Yes. And then we're back at Hudson's Bourbon Street and at BP Westgate on the 30th.
Tom had nothing to do with the Kelly's one. Unless you told the people at Kelly's to come through. Look.
Nope.
But I said that Tommy didn't come this, like, we got to do one at home. And no. But we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Winterval.
Don't you have a pillow and a blanket at Kelly's Pub in the corner? Yeah.
Well, Derek Van Diest is the mayor of Kelly's, so.
Yeah. Oh, is he ever?
Yeah, I just get it.
Not you?
No.
No, it's DVD.
DVD.
Oh, interesting.
Straight up, it's DVD.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's... I was there with Mooner once, and he's like, it just seems that the night always goes off the rails when DVD shows up at Kelly's. You could be at Kelly's, it could be fine, but the moment DVD shows up, it always goes off the track.
That's right.
Because it's his home.
He's always there.
Well, and how do you know he's always there, Tommy?
Because sometimes I join him.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Anyway, Murray, I haven't seen you in a little while. What's going on?
Oh, well, it's a relaxing time of year in a lot of ways for me. So
Yes.
I'm just busy. I've already worked out for a little bit over 2 hours today. So,
Did you?
yeah,
Nice.
so-
Getting a little
Nice.
better in the shoulder area.
Shoulder is improving. I can actually do push-ups again.
Yeah.
I went about 7 months where I couldn't do one push-up, so I can actually do push-ups again. So I'm happy about that.
You're doing like, you're not doing like a surgery or anything like that because it wasn't as bad as Matthew's shoulder injury because he got surgery.
It wasn't torn all the way through, so I didn't need surgery. So I got PRP injections, it's called. So they take blood out of you, get the platelets out of the blood, inject the platelets into the tears, and then over many weeks, the platelets in the blood help heal the tears in the shoulder. And so I'm 7 weeks past the PRP, and certainly a ton of improvement, but a long way to go. I still get the moments. Yesterday, I grabbed one of my son's basketballs and went to go to dribble it, and the twisting motion of dribbling a basketball, like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not healthy yet, but definitely. And I couldn't golf yet, but I'm getting there. Supposedly the timeline they told me for when I could swing a golf would be mid-January-ish. So still a couple months away from that. So more rehab and more exercise, which I love. So it's okay.
Well, you're fit and limber, Murray.
Yeah.
Fit and limber. I did a round of golf, indoor golf, sim golf on Friday. I enjoy it quite a bit, but like you can't really get a true gauge of your game. It's just you're keeping your swing loose, I think.
You're hanging out with buddies, having some drinks is what you're doing. It's not real golf.
Date night, but yes.
Yeah, date night. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's even better. But I'm not into indoor golf at all. It's especially the putting. The putting is
It's trash.
yeah. It's just not. It's not real.
Putting,
So,
or wedge shots, like chip shots.
Yeah.
You can't get under it or anything to do what you need to.
we have a sim at the ranch, and what I like to do is just be on the driving range, and you can see your numbers, you can see how far it's going, you can see, what your spin rate is, and all that kind of stuff, and just work on your swing and whatnot. But I just as soon do that than actually play golf.
Fair.
On a
That is
simulator.
fair.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing, I find.
No, that's true.
Being on like a golf course in the winter, that mentally just feels nice.
Yeah, and you know what's great? There's a million places you can go do it now. So
There's a
some
lot.
People are digging it, so it's good.
It's incredible the amount of golf sims there are now. Like before, I think there was like Evolution, there was Golf Zone, and that was like kind of it.
Yeah.
And now there's like everywhere.
Yeah,
As
a lot
there's-
of golf courses have them too
Yes.
for their members to
There
do
was this one in the Lexus dealership.
it. Yes,
They
there
have
is.
one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they have a former golf pro. Well, I think he kept his card. Joe Da Silva. He was a longtime head pro at the Devon Golf Course, and I think he was head pro at Jagger Ridge for a little bit years ago. And now he sells Lexuses, and so he teaches lessons at the simulator at the.
Oh, he does. He
Yeah.
teaches lessons there.
Yeah.
Nice.
How do you keep your card?
Well,
Do you have to keep playing, like go play around every so often, or
No, you just pay your dues.
Oh, okay.
Once you have it, you have it. You don't. You just have to.
it's like a
pay.
driver's license?
Yeah, exactly. You just pay your dues. But yeah, you don't have to do more playability tests or anything like that. Kind of once you got
Well,
it.
I would always keep it then. If I,
Well, yeah.
like I would just want to be like I'm a golf pro. No matter what you're doing, I'm
But
a
what do you
golf
do?
pro.
Well, I sell Lexuses, but
But I'm a
you're
golf pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but you said he runs lessons out of the sim at Lexus.
Yeah,
They
in between
had,
selling cars.
oh, obviously. We went to CCT on Friday night, and they have a middle section in between all the bays. It's a good time. It really is. And there was like a group lesson happening.
Yeah, they have a handful of really great teachers with CCT. Like CCT Country Club Tour, so they own I think 7 golf courses. And now 2, did the second one get open? They had the CCT Center, but they're opening a second one across the street because it was so popular.
I think it's coming soon. I saw
maybe not
a little
open
thing
quite
on
yet.
it. Yeah, on the wall it said it's coming soon.
And then, but yeah, so the teaching pros that are at the golf courses they have lots of great ones, and so they teach there in the wintertime,
Yeah.
and so you can get lessons there year round. It's a good spot, yeah.
They had like 7 or 8 people in this one lesson on a Friday night, and I was like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
And it's good. Like CCT's been a long time supporter of the VIP Golf Show. Advertised with us from day one back on our old station, and they do a lot of good things for sure. And that indoor golf center is it's the biggest one in the city. So they and it's busy, and that's why it's so popular that they had to build a second facility. So good for them.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then you saw my brother
Oh, yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell
okay.
is going on here?
6 degrees of separation. It's real. I was saying this weekend I was going to hang out with my cousin. Her and her fiance were in town dress shopping for their wedding. And I guess my future brother-in-law is boys with Tommy's brother, Polly. And then Polly and I had a meeting.
Uh-oh. That's why I brought
Which
this up.
your Instagram got hacked, but I have to show you a picture about our meeting.
I don't even go on Instagram anyways. That's still
Okay.
that's still a process. That's still ongoing.
So
It's
you're
in
lying
review.
to me about Bitcoin?
No, I can help you. Come and give me $7,000, Tommy. I'll get you $100K.
Awesome. Oh, love it.
My Instacart hacked. Or you could believe I could take $7,000 and turn it into $100,000 in 7 days. Whichever you choose to believe.
Well, both probably.
Then I'll take $7,000 and I'll turn it into $100K for you, Murray.
Okay.
What an investment.
And what happens if you don't? Then I'll get. Mike
You'll never
Tyson-
see from me again.
I'll get Mike Tyson or Jake Paul to.
We will get
after
to
I
that
can't wait
fight.
to get into that. That's why I'm being very nice.
You're not going to be very nice.
Why would
Well,
I?
she won her bet. I owe her happy hour, drinks and wings.
boy.
You had to say happy hour, not Range Road.
You said happy
I know,
hour.
I did say
You're
it.
the one that
Go
was
to
saying
Range
happy
Road.
hour.
I
What a
should
good
have,
spot.
but
What a
I was
good
being
spot.
a good colleague.
She said
So I
happy
said
hour.
happy hour.
Well, I would have
nice of
still
you.
agreed to the bet, but it was happy hour that we bet on. So, but there was also Grey Cup yesterday. 111.
Hang on,
Grey Cup.
Which I
before we get
watched.
into the Grey Cup, though, I got a quick question. I got to bash your social media. You had a post, speaking of happy hour, you had a post of you and Jay Milne out for lunch,
We're holding hands.
but it didn't say where you were.
That was
I'm
awesome.
curious where you went for lunch.
Refinery Grill. Just down the road.
I thought
Delicious.
that's where it was.
Amazing.
You had the Montreal smoked meat, probably.
I had the Reuben.
Yeah.
He had the French dip. Our waitress there, who was the sister of Robbie, the intern.
What?
Weirdly enough. Yeah, where she was like, "Where are you
6
guys
degrees of
working?"
separation.
She's like, "Where do you guys work?" And we're like, "Oh, radio station over here." She's like, "Oh, well, my brother's Robbie, the intern." I'm like, he was one of the people that texted me about my hacking a couple days ago, the days
love
prior.
Robbie.
So it was really cool. But she helped recommend what to try because we had never been there before.
Yeah.
Delicious,
Really?
well priced.
It looked
Yeah.
good.
We
It's
had
a good
lunch.
spot, yeah.
For honestly, for lunch too, we were in and out within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Great time between Jay and I. For the
Usually
for the
pretty
two
busy
of
there,
us,
too, at lunch.
it got busy.
Yeah.
And it was under like $60. Jay said because he owed. I didn't pay. He owed. It was a bet, so he's fulfilling
Mm.
his bet. It was under $60 for two of us.
Yeah, don't let him off.
And
so
we both
easy.
had.
I know.
Yeah, no.
And we both had
You had drinks.
leftovers. Or like
you had
takeaway.
leftovers.
So it was like that. That's we got a good amount of food for it too. So I had lunch
Wow.
on Saturday with it. So it was delicious. It was amazing
So he actually got you 2 lunches.
in a sense.
Oh yeah, good way to look at it.
What a
eh?
generous guy that Jay Milne.
They're holding.
What?
He just saw us
They
holding
wouldn't
hands.
see that?
I didn't see
The
it.
beers were in the
cute.
way. Yeah,
I
like,
didn't realize you were holding
Jay
hands.
wanted us to
Oh my
hold
God.
hands. He's like, here, so we were holding hands.
Oh my God.
Sure. It was a lovely time.
Not that there's anything
Jay
wrong with
texted
that.
me later
but-
that night and said, I had a very lovely time. And it's like, I did too.
Oh boy.
Look at you guys.
Is he cheating on his wife with you or what?
I guess so.
That was one of 2 dates I had that day.
Oh boy.
I went out for dates with Raimai with Whale and the Wolf later that night.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
We dressed up in suits and had steaks.
Oh, soon steak
Oh,
night.
And he had
wow.
his first espresso martini, which I
did.
want to know about.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Where'd
Then I
you
went
go?
to the Old Fashions.
Yeah.
Where
We
was
were
that?
at Joey's Bell Tower.
Joey's Bell Tower. for
Delicious
steaks.
steak.
Yeah.
I had the steak and sushi one. It was awesome.
I like that there.
It was a
Mm.
great night there. And then we went to Ice House because we wanted to watch the fight. And we
The
hated
what?
everything. The fight. The fight in quotes.
I don't know if I'd call
The
that.
fight. And the waitress we had was like full into conspiracies. Like with,
Ice house.
I have Julia or something. Brian remembers, maybe remembers her
Yeah,
name.
'cause I know most of them
And
still.
she was just like full conspiracy. We're like, with the night Ryan and I and what we were discussing, we're like, you fit well in with what we're talking about tonight. And it was great. And then so she kept feeding us. She was smart too. Like we'd have like a couple drinks and he was going to get busier. So she brought us like some more quickly. And then we had a shot of vodka at whatever Rostizados is now. And then he went home and I went to bed. But Ryan and I dressed up in
Chardonnay.
our suits and we had our student savings. So I had 2 days.
Did you take a picture? Are you
We
guys
did
in your
not.
suits? Oh,
We did
come
not.
on.
We did not.
I needed to analyze this.
Any,
No, we only took a picture of our food. to
any
send to
holding
Ryan's
hands
wife.
on date 2?
No.
No.
No. No. But
right.
Ryan got more of my time.
And that's special.
It was a lovely night. It was a great time.
anytime you
Actually,
get
we
these
hadn't done it in
steak-
5 years. That was the first time we did it. And then yeah, we're going to have to do it more often. So that was, yeah, but we're at Refinery Grill for Jay and I. We should go.
I've been there a handful of times in my life. Yeah, it's a good spot. No doubt.
I love how you guys do steak and suit night.
It was great.
It is funny.
Yeah,
lovely.
It's a
so
time-honored
cool.
tradition.
Culture, exactly.
We'll have to try to do it again more. Went first to go visit his wife and his kid. So I had a nice little visit with them, and then we went off.
You had me at steak, though. I mean, anytime you're going for a good steak, it's yes.
I was like, you had me at suit. That's what I wanted to see.
You're a suit girl, hey?
Yeah, I wanted to see. I like nice dressed people. You know what? I may say, I feel like since I've been on the EST team, everybody here is up their game. Everybody here looks fabulous.
Well, got to keep up to you.
Yeah.
But except for, wait a minute, Tommy
Well,
G, except for today, because
yeah.
he's dressed like a hunter.
That's a great shirt.
Thank
Wow.
you.
I wear shirts like that.
But
It's very comfortable.
But I love the Busto. So I
Thank you.
thought the new kicks. I thought they were new kicks, and I thought it's because you have a new gal, so you're needing to impress. And
Tommy tends to dress up usually.
I know.
I have not changed my
puts it-
clothes with you here.
You've been looking
exact
really
same.
fly lately, my friend.
I look the exact same as I have since we started EST. I will say that.
Well,
I have
except
not
you're
changed
in
any
pants right
wardrobes.
now instead of shorts because it's winter.
Yeah.
Your hair's done.
It's
You
always
got a
done.
haircut.
The only time it's not done is if I have to work the morning show.
Your hair's been done.
Only if I'm doing, if I'm doing the morning show. There's no chance of doing it if I have to work the morning show.
And when your hair's that short, though, it's kind of always done. I mean, what do you?
No.
Done.
No.
That's how I do mine.
Yeah, you don't look like Tommy G if you just do it, if it's a 5-second job.
30 seconds.
Will also always comes in and he ups
Yeah,
up
he's
the
got
game
good hair.
sometimes.
Good hair.
Will just dresses nice too. Used
Yeah.
to not. It was I think someone like referenced him like made him think like compared him to Paul Brown.
Oh, no.
And ever since then, Will's just like, I got to change my clothing, and he just started dressing better, straight up.
Yeah, I could see that. Speaking of the devil, I can hear him.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so after we played golf on Friday, we went for a bite to eat, skipped hockey. We were having such a good time. Watched the fight at the restaurant.
What restaurant? Out of curiosity.
Always went to like Earl's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do like girls.
No Range Road this time.
No problem.
Yeah. It was a casual night. We
Yeah.
were wearing athleisure.
Yes. And you wanted somewhere the game was on or
Yeah.
the fights were on.
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't on. I had to put it on my phone and we watched it on my phone.
Oh, it's a tactic to get close together and watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it worked.
Is that what you call it? You call those or tactics?
Yeah,
Tactics, yeah. It worked. So you got in there, you got a little snuggling. Good.
Great tactic.
made
But
the
we
player
were
at the
both
game.
quite disappointed with what we saw.
Okay.
Jeez,
Do you guys want
why?
to get into this? I can't wait.
Well, get into it.
Or did you want to do Grey Cup?
Yeah.
We'll get to
whatever.
Grey Cup because we'll have a lot of time. We'll finish this fight thing quicker, and then we have a lot to get because Grey Cup will transition very quickly into the Elks, I'm sure.
By the way, Maddie, you know who you remind me of
No.
from the Tyson fights? It's Ariel Hawani.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked Ariel Hawani.
Yeah, me
Canadian.
too.
Montreal.
Is he
He's
Canadian?
from Montreal.
Oh.
I had him on the radio show once, I think with JMO years ago, right? Like
Cool.
as he was about to become big in UFC, because then he was the like massive UFC guy, and then I think he got into a fight with Dana White or something, and he like doesn't follow the UFC as much anymore. Like he's not at every fight. I could be wrong on that. Like where he's at every fight or something. I know he like tweets about it and stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
Just like his
I'll take that as a
demeanor and
compliment.
stuff. It is.
That's awesome.
Just like his demeanor and all that stuff. I was like, and I like told my brother, I'm like, this reminds me of Matthew. And he's like, yo, it does. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I did say watch the girl fight. Did I not like emphasize
Apparently it was
this?
awesome.
That's all you needed to watch. If you shut off Tyson Paul after the women's fight, you walked away going, that was a great night of boxing.
Unreal. Accept the decision. Do you agree with it?
No, I don't think anyone did.
That's just weird. What
Welcome to
happened?
boxing, Jasmine.
Okay, so
this is so
I-
funny. So Jasmine texts me after this fight because like the judge of the unofficial scorecard on the broadcast, like they have that analyst that always scores it, had the one person winning. I think everyone had this one person winning, and it went to the Taylor. She ended up winning, and it was this controversy. And Jasmine texted me like, "Oh, maybe you're right. This is a sham." It's like, well, welcome to boxing. Controversial decisions happen all the time.
Man, it was just like left such a bad taste in my mouth going
Yep.
into like Tyson's fight. It's just sad. Like what Amanda had, had been going through that whole fight with that cut. It was
Oh, it's a
so
nasty
gnarly. Yeah. And you really, and she still, I thought, killed it. But I don't know. That just made me sad.
Well, you can never trust going to the scorecard. I mean, ideally in UFC or in boxing, finish the fight.
Yes.
Knock them out. Leave nothing to chance to what judges may or may not do. Just knock them the F out and be done with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they tried both of them, but the whole
But once you go to the
headbutt thing-
scorecard, you're right, Murray.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
no.
And the majority of people could watch and be like, well, this went one way. And it's those judges will be the only 3 people on the planet to think it went the other way. And it'll go the other way and everyone's going, what the hell just happened?
Well, and it's almost like there's a home field advantage. Like if you, Jelena Marjanovic is a great example of this. When she would go to other locations to fight boxers, man, she had to, if she was going to win the fight, she had to knock them out. Otherwise, she was going to lose because the judges were not going to give her the fight. And some people might say that about coming here to box Jelena, that the judges were maybe a little bit more siding with her or whatever, which, whatever, it is what it is. But I mean, man, you just cannot take that chance when you're in that world. I mean, you can't. I mean, boxing's tough like any sport. You're not going to be able to knock everybody out.
Right.
Man, if you want to win the fight, though, make sure you win the fight. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, though, if you don't want it to be controversial, knock them out, walk away. There's nothing anyone can do about that one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get screwed.
Then the main event happened.
Oh, just really quick, because you brought up when Jelena was fighting. Would they not, because it was world titles she was fighting for, would they not bring in neutral scorers from like all different parts of boxing in the world?
So I golfed this year with a guy that is a boxing judge.
Yeah.
And he's judged many world championship fights and things like that. And I got into this conversation with him because, there are so many decisions that you're just watching this fight and like, are you out of your mind? Mm-hmm. And, so he talked about it and he said that the way he explained it is when you're judging boxing matches, I mean, you don't view it in the exact same way that a fan would view it watching. And he said and fans have favorites. When you're a judge, you're impartial. And when you are not, like in amateur boxing, it's a hit. If you give someone a little love tap, that counts as a point in amateur boxing, where in professional boxing, it's more, what he was explaining was every punch is different. Being the aggressor is different. And there's so many little intricacies in what they're doing that dictates how you judge a fight. And he said, like, just regular fans don't really get it and understand. That's what he explained, and that's probably what he has to say. Mm-hmm. But, when you, because he didn't really get to how are there so many crazy controversial decisions? And his point was basically, they're not maybe controversial from a judge's perspective because they're professional judges and they see it differently than we do, which is fair.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, we're watching. We're a fan of the Edmonton Oilers, and like, how the heck did they miss that trip or whatever? I mean, we're fans, and we want that to be a trip. And was it a trip? And I mean, the referees, they're professionals, and we can bitch about them all we want, but man, they're the best in the world at what they do, and they do things in the way they do it. And we're not them. We're not them. We don't get exactly what they do and why they call what they call. But we're also fans. So, we're homers on what we are expecting to be called and not called. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the women's fight was the best fight. So girl power. I was really proud of them, both of them, at the end of the day. The other two fights before then, did you guys catch those?
Nope.
They were pretty good. Tyson's shorts, you guys were right about the simple black. I thought that was interesting. Because it's fashion.
Spano.
Other takeaways, I think, were there weren't many celebrities there. They were really pumping that Cobra Kai, the two guys, because
It was a commercial.
There was a commercial?
It is basically. It was marketing their own stuff.
Yeah, Netflix stuff.
There was
shows
Shaq, there was
coming out.
Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Who else did they show there? One of the Jonases were there. Mm-hmm. Can't remember which one. I think Joe. Who else do I remember seeing there?
Charlize Theron.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. It's not many.
Good.
Which is weird.
It didn't deserve it.
So why did you choose to watch this fight?
I love the theatrics of sports entertainment. That's why I'm a huge NBA fan as well.
It was a spectacle.
It was.
Well, and
Everyone
that's right.
was sucked into this spectacle of this.
You hit the nail right on the head of what that was.
Right.
It was theatrics and a spectacle. It
Yes.
wasn't a fight.
And you know what else? Like, the guys were kind of bugging me last week because I was really excited about it. And I'm like, it's nice to feel excited and look forward to something rather than take a negative take on it and be like, oh, it's rigged. Who cares? Like, it's nice to feel happy and excited about something. So why
Sure.
not?
Was it worth being happy and excited
No,
for
of
that?
course it
Yeah, okay.
That's right, because we're jaded.
Yeah.
We've had those
Y'all
happen
are
enough.
jaded,
That's
yeah.
the thing. Like, I've had it happen enough in my life where I've been excited and then
I
I
was
walked
so
away being upset.
excited.
And even in this one, I was jaded going into it, and I still was upset by how it ended.
Yeah.
I was not happy with this one
The
at
thing
all.
is, the fight was just terrible. It was a boring fight.
I will say, like, I was wrong in one sense.
Yeah.
Jake Paul could have knocked out Mike Tyson in that ring, and he chose not to.
Exactly.
He chose not to.
You could see him being gentle, which.
And at the same time,
Kinda
also, I look
respect.
at Mike Tyson and go, early in the fight, first 2 rounds, I think I showed you one video.
Yeah,
he got a
snapped a
punch
little
on. He
jab
got a
in
good
there, yeah.
punch.
Yeah, he did.
But then he stopped throwing.
Yes.
And I feel like Mike Tyson then just was like, I got to go to the decision here. I'm going to the end. I don't want to try to knock out Jake Paul. If Mike, like, you can't tell me Mike Tyson, even though his legs looked old, he looked slow. I'm not disputing that. But you're telling me he's not going to try to go down by swinging? Like, the guy's
that's who he is.
That's right.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden he just stops swinging and he stops going for it. And he was trying to go the distance. Jake Paul then just all of a sudden was like, it hit him where he's like, oh crap, there's a 58-year-old across from me. Maybe this doesn't look good for me. And he stopped going. And it was just like, I don't need to see another Paul fight again in my life. I watched the Logan Mayweather one. I was pissed off after that one. I watched Paul Tyson. I'm done. I don't need to watch another Paul fight again in my life.
Yeah, it's not fights. He's not a real boxer.
Unless he works his way up and he earns a true title fight.
This was my point about Father Time. This is exactly what I was saying about Tyson being tired, slow, his legs. Say what you will. That's why I said Jake was going to win. Even though I didn't want to see it, it was real.
Well, you think about it, like boxing or fighting for 3-minute rounds. Is that were they 3 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So
Okay.
eight rounds, 2 minutes. So it's not a
Not-
typical
not
12-3.
even. But a typical 3-minute round. I mean, that is exhausting. I mean, you look at a hockey fight. Tommy G, how many hockey fights were you in your life?
2.
2. They lasted what, probably 30, 45 seconds?
Yeah, at
and
most.
you were exhausted
Yep.
at the end of 45 seconds of a hockey fight. It is tiring to sit in there for even 2 minutes. To sit in there and throw for 2 minutes is hard. And you're 58 years old.
Legit.
I mean, we all saw that picture of Mike Tyson in his jock strap. I mean, he's not in the best.
That was funny.
He's in decent
That was
shape for a
awesome.
58-year-old,
Yeah.
but he's not in great shape. And
That was a great
you're
photo.
not like, man, that's not easy.
Even in walkouts, though. Like, there was no one with Paul except his brother. And he came out in the car.
And what
And
was
then
he spraying? Did you notice he was spraying stuff on him?
I just noticed there was a camera, like his phone there, filming it.
Of course, he's in.
Oh, that entrance, yeah, versus.
And then Mike Tyson was just like, there was no entourage. He just walked out.
Yeah.
And then just
Kept
like,
it classy.
Well, that's badass, though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It
You're
was
going out to a
badass.
fight.
usually
you
there's
just
an
want to-
entourage.
yeah.
Like, I love that entourage.
Yeah.
You watch them.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, and
And
there
then
was
like
none of
Justin
that. It was just like,
Bieber
what the heck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
who's going to be there with Tyson? Who's going to be
Right.
with their Paul? And no one. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. It's very anticlimactic. And
It
I knew I
wasn't
wasn't going to enjoy it to a degree. And I walked away enjoying it even less. And then Netflix also had their buffering issues the entire time.
Okay, what the hell? You guys owe everybody a discount, man. You do not do that. Luckily, for some reason, I was successful throughout. Like, I would just kind of go back, maybe because I was watching from the beginning, so I was like in front of the queue. But like, I would just kind of flip back, then go right back in, and then flip back, and then it'd be like perhaps a couple seconds. So it wasn't on the live button necessarily, just a hack for all you guys. But yeah, I mean, that's bullshit.
Ooh, she's hot.
This is what happens in this streaming world where people still don't understand. You need servers, and they weren't prepared for how many people were going to be watching this. Clearly, and they have. If there's anyone that's worried, well, because you don't know the official number of how many people are going to tune in.
What was the official number?
They say it's 60 million, but Netflix doesn't actually have to tell. Actually, they're shareholders. They're publicly traded. Maybe they do have to actually post that one day. But they say 60 million households. Which I don't think it would have been 60 million if it was pay-per-view. How many people just were like, oh, yeah, I got Netflix. I'm going to throw this on. I'm not going to, but weren't going to pay for
Some
it.
people couldn't
But
even get onto it.
the big thing is if there's anyone was panicking, or maybe not panicking, but was picking up the phone and making calls on Friday night, it was the NFL. There's 2 Christmas Day games on Netflix in the States.
Yes, there is. And guess who's doing halftime for the Ravens?
Ravens, Texans, Beyonce.
Really?
Beyonce. Yeah, did you
they
not know?
announced that
No, I missed
this
that.
morning or yesterday.
Nice.
But they've got 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. I guarantee you Roger Goodell has been making some calls to Netflix over this past weekend going, what, excuse me? What are you doing to fix this?
Yeah.
Excuse
Make
me.
sure this is fixed. And is going to be keeping constant updates. Because you can mess up Paul and Tyson. Ultimately, you can't mess the NFL up.
No, because Paul and Tyson wasn't real. The NFL's real. So
And they will say, we'll never come back to you ever again.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Or
So
we're
true.
gonna go down. We're on Amazon Prime. We'll stick with Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Like Netflix can't have mistakes when it comes to the National Football League.
So has Netflix contacted Matt Iwanyk, the consulting fee to get that all sorted out for him?
No, they don't need me.
Okay.
Actually, but it was funny though, because when I was at Ice House, I was seeing the buffering, and like the initial thing is this Ice House internet, or is it the streaming internet? And so I tweeted or Googled it, like went on Twitter and searched it. And I was like, oh, people are having issues. And then when I messaged in a group chat, like Dusty and Jay for a while had no issues; they were fine.
Yeah.
but it's other people all
Reed
we
said
all
he
had
couldn't even
issues.
get on
He couldn't get on.
at all, which was like, that's ridiculous. Again, you're paying for a service.
Yeah.
You have anticipated this since the summer. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You are the number one streaming company in the world, and you're telling me you can't.
Well, they've never done really that much live. There's a difference between streaming shows and streaming
They
live.
have done live shows like the live, like Tom Brady and such, right?
But you're not like the demand is a different thing.
Yeah, but they
It's
had
being prepared
that
for
much
that.
time to prep for it. That was what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twitter was hilarious with the server jokes.
Good. Well, I mean, good point, Maddie, about the Christmas thing, because NFL won't put up with that crap.
No.
But yes, in theory, Netflix should have the proper infrastructure in place to make it work. But now they know. That's a
Yeah,
perfect
exactly.
test.
Now
That's a
they've
perfect
done
test.
it. Now they're gonna. I mean, they're gonna get better. They're gonna figure it out. They've got highly paid, highly qualified people to sort it out. Even though they don't have Matt Iwanyk, they.
Or Nathan.
Yeah.
Matt Hyman said, "Blame Nathan."
Oh, Nate. Yeah, he's let us down quite a bit, apparently.
The thing is, though, it's the internet. As long as
Well,
there's always
fair.
could be more that I feel like there's always going to be more that can go wrong than with cable.
Well,
For sure.
it's not necessarily exactly the same thing, but Kananaskis Golf Course a couple of years back, they went to a online booking system when
Yep.
online booking systems first came out, and they always start their bookings on one day in like March or February or whenever it is, and it blew out their system and all the demand that came in to try to book it, and it blew it out, and nobody could book. So the company that they were working with had to figure, okay, it was more volume than we could handle. So they had to do whatever they do to make it work. And I mean, this is a much bigger level than that, but they'll figure it out.
I think they will. I think you're right in that. Interesting.
What would be the most live streamed thing ever?
Well, one of the EST shows for sure.
Definitely our debut.
Cute.
Yeah. Good call. What would be?
I'm like, I feel like this would have to be up there on a single streaming service
Right.
of one of the most streamed things ever, because like, so this one says the Cricket World Cup. It
makes
it hit a peak of 59 million on Disney Plus Hotstar platform, according to Disney.
Wow.
So that would be close to Netflix. So they've done it. So this would have, but based on what Netflix says at 60 million, this would have been the most live streamed event ever, like from a single platform.
Sounds pretty similar to the numbers to the Hello Hockey and VIP Golf Show on weekends on EST.
Oh, I know exactly that territory. It's 60 million. Yeah, it's very comfortable space. That's for sure.
See, Matty Iwanyk has it all figured out already.
Yeah, no issues.
I guess the Ring Girls were the biggest headliner.
Were
Like
they?
Sydney Thomas, I think LT was saying she gained 300,000 followers on her Instagram.
Were they
They're
attractive
stunning
to
women.
quite attractive?
Oh, they're beautiful, beautiful women.
You noticed this, but Tommy G didn't?
That's you know what I was gonna crack that joke, but you
Wow.
got to faster
Like, what's going on here? Well, Tommy G was on a date.
I was
with
so
another
busy.
beautiful woman,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Yeah. She's pretty good looking too. Oh my.
Right?
Yep.
Gorgeous.
Yep. Very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
like
Share.
no, see,
That's not her?
no, that's her. But like on the broadcast, what was being shown was like it was like the interview, like well,
They're
it'd be like
boobs.
this.
That's what was being shown.
Oh.
Right, but it was just like they're interviewing the box or something, and that's all you would see is right behind
Yeah,
them.
right. Two beautiful women right
So it
behind
was just like
yeah.
right on full
Great
display.
marketing. Again, the
Tommy
production
G.
value, mwah, love it. Beautiful people, love it.
Let's see.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
What was
Right?
the name again?
Sydney Thomas.
Sydney Thomas, one of them. If you'd like to join in on the Hangout looking at.
She's one of them. but
I'm just
there was a
researching.
few.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Great teeth.
Oh yeah, great.
I want another.
Is that a nickname for them now? It's teeth.
What would you say?
I'll say this, Jasmine, because you're not wrong with something you said earlier in that it's great to have that event that everyone's looking forward to. Like when Ryan and I were at Joey's and our waitress like, "What are you guys going to do?" We're just like, "We're going to go watch the fight." She knew what that meant.
Absolutely.
And there's some, I do, that's why I feel like I was born on partly in the wrong time period because I would have loved to have been alive during like boxing at its height. Because there is something special about that massive fight that everyone knows. No offense to the UFC. Apparently they had a big fight on Saturday.
John Jones fight,
Apparently it was an amazing fight because Zach texted their group chat at like 11 o'clock at night. Like, there's the greatest fight he'd ever seen in his life, which I want to respond with like, what, you've been alive for 5 years. It's not really...
It was good. We watched it after the hockey game after we finished the post-game show.
But the UFC has never grabbed the attention of the world like boxing has, where everyone, like society as a whole, like the casuals, it has not really fully done that. Boxing still has that power to do it.
Legit.
But the last few times it's happened generally has been the spectacle, which is not the full just boxing fight. It's not going to be Fury versus Usyk part 2 when that happens. But there's more people that should be excited about Fury and Usyk when that happens again. But so they're far and few between. When Mayweather took on Pacquiao finally, it was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
When Mayweather took on McGregor, hated myself a little bit for it, but it was the spectacle because everyone wanted to get together and watch the fight. And I do enjoy that. It's just I would like to do it with something that's more legit.
I think you brought a great point there too. Like, no matter what age group, what gender, what your favorite sports preference is, this kind of brings everybody together to watch it together. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody's in the loop. It's similar to the Super Bowl. Like, people are there to watch the halftime show, right? Not necessarily the whole thing, but they're there for the food. They're there to hang out. They're having a good time, right? It's the same concept. So that's why I think it's okay to be happy and excited to watch a big match like that.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be rigged still. Or like I don't want a sham. I want something that's a little more like Super Bowl at least is. We're going to watch two good teams go at it and see who's the best. Grey Cup, we're going to see two good teams going at it, not shams. Give me a real, like, let's all get excited about Fury and Usyk. Let's all get together as EST and watch that fight when it happens.
Deal.
How's that?
Let's do it.
I'm in.
I'm so in.
I don't want to read Gager's comment, but Gager's comment the nasty chat.
I gotta scroll.
I don't really want to read that one on air.
Oh, Joaquin,
Where
good
is
morning
it?
to you.
It's pretty recent.
Okay.
Alicia via the Paris Jewelers inbox says Netflix did a live show for the Love is Blind reunion,
boy.
which completely crashed for everyone. You would think that they would learn. And I guess they haven't.
Big Maple, I just want to ask your opinion, please. Do you think it was rigged? Do you think it was fake?
Because Big Maple is a big
He's a big boxing guy. It
fighting
seemed
guy,
like
right?
he knows more than me for sure. So
in
no
the
one.
end,
No one can
Jake
think
Paul
that.
could have gone and knocked him out. Like rigged Murray and I were talking before the show. Like rigged, not in a way of they agreed on how this is going to go and they scripted the fight,
It wasn't
but more
bad.
of an agreement of how long this fight's going to go and things.
yeah,
like
you
that.
could tell he was. Yeah, I mean, there was jokes on Twitter, but like how Tyson kind of gave up. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm getting my 10 mil or 20 mil.
20.
Yeah,
And then of course he has to
Don't
call it
shortchange
Logan
him.
Yeah,
Paul.
I know, right? That's a big difference. It's 20 mil.
And then he calls it Logan Paul.
Well, I know. Was that not a setup for another stupid
That's I was
spectacle
like, no.
payday? Like,
Because then
come
Logan
on.
Paul was set up with a perfect response where he had that little face and he says, MFer, I'll knock you out. Like, and I was like, no, not doing it.
Not
Not
this
doing
time.
it. We're not doing Logan
Yeah.
Paul versus Mike Tyson. We're not doing it. So on the Hangout, there will be a ban when that fight gets announced.
Yeah.
I respect
Yeah,
Sorry, Jasmine, it's not happening.
but just to finish that, we agreed that they had a gentleman's agreement that they weren't going to hurt each other. They were going to take it easy out there and just put on a show as best they could without having a real fight. It wasn't a real fight.
No, it was not.
Oh, here it is. So December 21st, it'll be Fury Usyk Part 2.
Is it a Friday, Saturday?
Saturday, 12-round heavyweight title clash
Are the Oilers playing that
to
day?
take place in Saudi Arabia. So that's probably an earlier fight.
Oh no,
maybe.
then we can't do it.
Why not?
Yeah, the Oilers are also playing. They're playing at 2 against San Jose that day.
Well, perfect. Then
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's it back then.
If it's like the first car fight, this is according to a UK article. It'll get going. Main walkout will be 11:30 UK time. They're 7 hours ahead of us. So would that be?
3:30 in the morning.
No, Art 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, we could do that then.
Order games at 2.
You do both at the same
Do
time?
both, yeah. Let's get a screen going, the other one.
Yeah.
You are
Follow
The
me
boxing
to
world, that's what you get for
Oh,
And that is that is 12 rounds, 3 minutes, heavyweight tilt.
Also, they're playing San Jose, so who cares?
Good point.
afternoon game.
watch
I'm
the
taking
pre-
my
and post
kid to
game
that game. His first ever Oiler game.
That's lovely because you'll see a good win.
Well, he was telling me today, though, he wants a San Jose shirt because I said, like, Luke, let's practice. Go, Oilers, go.
He's such a
and he
heel.
goes, nope. Let's go, San Jose. And the I said,
Wow.
oh, Luke.
See, you got to do it
Wow.
opposite. You got to tell him that. Let's cheer for the Sharks, then he'll start going for
Well,
the
I
Oilers.
know. He just likes to be a little
Heel.
Yeah,
He's a heel.
Whatever anyone else is cheering, everyone else is cheering for, he wants to be the opposite.
He was a ball of energy when we did the Elks game on my
Yeah.
birthday. He was hilarious. My brother's like, man, Luke's funny, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, Murray's like sitting there calm, and Luke's all over the place, just talking to everybody, bouncing around. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
that's Luke.
much bigger social butterfly than I
He
ever
was
have
great.
been. That's for sure.
He's the star of the show that day. I loved it.
Well, EST golf tournament, my wife had to bring, because she was golfing at the ranch that night, so she brought him, and I have him downstairs in the little after drinking thing there, and he was dancing with everybody, and some of the girls were dancing with him, and I'm like, geez, Luke's a
Attaboy.
little stud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at him go. Yeah.
I like it. Moving and shaking.
This is the EST Hangout. Tommy, Matt, Murray, and Jasmine with you here in Edmonton Sports Talk, a clear choice for Edmonton sports. We will get to a keyword for the EST Flyaway a little bit later on during the Hangout. The big story from the weekend for me was Grey Cup Sunday, 111th Grey Cup. Tommy, congratulations to him as... you and I both called Toronto, but you called the biggest win for the Argos out of anyone on EST.
Yeah.
And boom, you nailed it.
Thank you.
Because you had 34, I think you had 34-28.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for the
And-
round of clicks.
Clicking.
Like part of it was like just anti-Winnipeg, anti-everybody because we all thought Winnipeg was going to win. But like this isn't Ryan Dinwiddie going in 07 and making his first ever start after only throwing, I think, 50 passes in that 07 season. Arbuckle's been around, and like this was a shot at redemption for him. I was surprised at how good the secondary of the Argos was able to read Caleros. And then obviously the hand injury didn't help, and he went to the glove. But yeah, Toronto came to play. And again, just like they did 2 years ago, they started to peak at the right time. And did that game, the last Elks game of the season against Toronto. And I was, talking to the Argos players and even Dinwiddie. And like they had a quiet confidence. And I'm like, you know what? There might be something there. And I think for them, the biggest hurdle was Montreal. And once they got past the Owls in Montreal last week, I think that the belief system went straight up, regardless of who was at quarterback. And good for Arbuckle. I mean, he wasn't flashy. He was just steady. And then the mistakes that the Bombers made on offense, man, oh man. How many picks last night? 5?
Yeah, I think
4,
6
5,
total
6,
turnovers.
but the prediction, I was just trying to be a little bit ridiculous and kind of came to fruition.
Wow.
Well, I'll give it to you.
But thank you. Thanks.
I picked Toronto because I thought Toronto was, like, in the end, I was worried. I'm like, am I thinking a little too much with my heart? But all week, I'd been making the case for Toronto. From the Hangout Monday last week, I've made the case for Toronto, and it kind of played true to what I was thinking with that one, which is people were underestimated and not talking about the Argos defense or special teams. And right off the bat, Janarian Grant had a big return on his first return of that game. They got the turnover on special teams, and defensively, like this year, they gave up 14 points in the first meeting against the Argos, then I think 11, or against the Bombers, and then 11 points in the second meeting. That without Chad, like Jack Kelly doesn't play defense, and that team went up against that Bombers team twice this year and held them to under 20 points in both of those games defensively. So they knew how to beat the Bombers, and defensively they knew how to get to that team. And they went out and they did it. And like ultimately, like, look, Nick Arbuckle had a moment where it wasn't going. His interception was very bad. It was just a terrible throw.
Yeah.
He then throws it into Willie Jefferson, who's just a beast. But that one Bomber player who had interference on that blocked punt, and it's an automatic first down for the Argos. Like, you're immediately pretty much, I think, would have been in the red zone.
Yep.
And instead, it's Argo football. What a turning point that it was in that very moment.
That was huge. That was huge.
And now everyone, like the Bombers dynasty, it's there's no dynasty in terms of greatness.
Yeah, 5 trips to the Grey Cup in a row, but lose 3 in a row. Like, that's devastating for them. They got to be looking in the mirror and going, like, what the heck's going on here? I mean, it's great to get there. You don't win if you don't get there, but losing 3 years in a row, that's gut punching, gut wrenching for that to happen.
And now they host next year. So, like, what do? You keep that group together?
You got to get out.
Absolutely.
Do you think they went in overconfident?
Probably.
Should be some of that, I would think.
That or maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe they don't have that killer instinct in them to go to win championships. Because when you look at their 2 wins, and I don't want to disparage the wins that they had, 2019 was a very good win. Like, Hamilton wasn't in that football game at all. But in 2021, Hamilton had a pretty sizable lead going into the 4th quarter. And if Tim White doesn't make a boneheaded decision and give up the Rouge late at that game probably doesn't go into overtime. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats win a home field. Like, they just can't seem to go get it done. And I wonder if it's just, like, it's the Canadian Football League. And so this is why I bring it up, because it's not fully the NFL. But to me, they're the CFL version of the Buffalo Bills.
Kind of, yeah.
They won Grey Cups in the end. The Bills didn't win in those 4 in a row. But they got there 5 times, and they lost, including the one to Nick Arbuckle, where at one point they were 10.5-point favorites during the week. And they go and blow it.
Yeah. I think everyone, me included, read way too much into the Chad Kelly injury and the impact that was going to have. And that's why everyone, except for you two, were thinking it was Winnipeg. It was going to be an easy win for Winnipeg based on the quarterback play and your point of the defense of Toronto being as good as it was, except when Trey Ford was playing against them in the last game, when I guess none of their defense was really playing.
No, they had some starters.
NBT did well against them actually early this season.
Defense wins championships, and you read it right.
Well, in the end, also we could talk about the Winnipeg dynasty. We're on verge of an Argos dynasty.
Yeah,
they've won 2 of 3.
Yeah,
they go win next year. They're a dynasty.
Yeah,
3 of 4. Yeah, straight up modern dynasty, right? And they're on track for, and they have a good football team. And I will actually say this: I was completely wrong on the Argos in the sense at the start of the year, I thought they lost so many players in free agency. I thought they're done. Like they lost some defenders, and I was like, they can't get back. And then Chad Kelly gets suspended for the 9 games because he's an idiot. And in the end, it didn't matter. Like, Ryan Dinwiddie's a good coach.
Clearly.
When Kelly went down and I like how you could hear the mics a little bit more on the broadcast during the playoffs. And he goes in there and he gave Chad Kelly like the pat on the head. He's like, "I love you, Chad." Like, I was like, okay, that's a good coach. Think what we want about Chad Kelly being an idiot, because he is. But like that moment there, and you see the personal relationship, and we had like a little sneak peek into it. I think that's kind of telling of Ryan Dinwiddie and why the players rally around him a little bit. And, the X's and O's stuff is important as well. And he obviously knows it well, but I think that's important. Like, it really is. And then you can rally around like a Jason Moss, like the Alouettes did last year. And he's kind of that same thing, rah. But maybe Jason Moss is way more fired up than Ryan Dinwiddie, absolutely. But yeah, I think, that's... And then even another tell was I didn't like how they presented the Grey Cup to Larry Tannenbaum.
Never seen that before.
I didn't like
I've
that.
never seen that before in the Canadian Football League. It's always gone to players. I think maybe Huff got it once, but he was the coach. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But then where was Dinwiddie? Well, he was on the field watching, and he's like, "That's for my guys. I'll celebrate with them, but I want them up there." I'm paraphrasing what he said, but I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a tell.
Better not be a trend for the CFL going that way.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Isn't that the NBA that always does it that way?
All the US all does it that way. NBA, MLB, I believe, and the NFL. Sure. They go to the champ.
Yeah.
Or the owner.
Yeah.
And the NHL's never done it. And the CFL, from what I get, like, I don't recall ever seeing that outside of, like I said, I think there was a year Huff got it first, but he was at least the coach. Like, he coached that team. So Larry Tannenbaum's kind of almost his way out of MLSE, because Rogers is buying out Bell. Like, before, he was kind of like the Kingsmaker. He was kind of, because there's Rogers, Bell, and him. So he could side with whoever he wanted to, and he was kind of the kingmaker of MLSE. So he got a lot of power. Now Rogers bought out Bell, so it's going to be all Rogers. So he's kind of just a nothing now. And I wonder if this was a kind of like a farewell to him. He got
good
that.
point.
But that doesn't. I don't care.
It doesn't
he doesn't
make it
deserve
right.
that.
No way.
Like I'm like, good job. You spent money, all that. No, like that should be the players getting it.
Yeah.
And I think they were held behind like a barricade till he got it.
Oh,
It's like they're not even on the stage. Like, no, Randy, you're screwing up in your final days as commissioner.
well, is he going to be on for months more until they find the right guy?
That's what Farhan had in the.
Yeah.
Was it Grey Cup Saturday? Or was it on Grey Cup Sunday when they did their report? Might have been on Sunday where
Yeah.
he said that the board will, the governors will decide in December what they want out of the next commissioner, and they will take their time, and we might get into the start of next season with Randy Sill as commissioner.
So, but it was his last Grey Cup, so yeah,
Likely, better be.
Well, we gave him this little farewell tour.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
And then you said he was done. He can't have another Randy next Grey
he's
Cup.
back.
And we're still looking for that commissioner.
he was blowing kisses to the crowd. They did a thank you video for him in the first quarter.
Has he been a terrible commissioner?
No, I don't think
He's
so.
been terrible.
He hasn't been. I thought he wasn't as good as I hoped he would be.
Yeah, and
But I think he's
had
been
to
all right.
battle through COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
my God.
But the arguments I will make against Randy is the revenue never grew under him. And apparently the board wants the next commissioner to grow revenue. And everyone else, like, that's a big thing as a commissioner. You're supposed to grow revenue. He didn't get that done.
No.
When it comes to COVID, he's the only league that didn't play during COVID. The CEBL played a season still. The Canadian Premier League played a season still. And you could go to the faults of Randy. Like when he went to the House of Commons committee, he was very unprepared. Now, he might not have gotten the money. Like likely there was a good chance that the House was never going to give him the money, but he was very unprepared. He didn't bring any PA members with him. Probably should have had the PA there to explain why Americans should be getting some money to play the season and various things. Didn't do any of that. Has been very arrogant in times when he was dealing with the PA. There's a lot of faults that he did launch CFL 2.0, which was not necessary.
No.
And ultimately didn't accomplish anything. Like I will say, what did Randy accomplish in 7 years? I will say he left the league ownership wise in a better position than it's ever been.
Fair. He steered the ship, is basically,
True.
but I don't know. Yeah. What's his legacy? I don't know that there's a legacy there that maybe
He
the
wore a
ownership
scarf.
thing. Yeah. You got a name?
wear a
Who
scarf.
do you like? Who's the
Mike Moriali, commissioner of the CBL, former Hamilton Tiger Cat.
Yeah, that would be a good pick. Like it.
I thought it was an entertaining game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From someone that, still getting into CFL.
You're a new CFL fan.
I kind of liked that Toronto, was the upset. It made it more interesting for someone like me who had zero, allegiance to either.
Were you
Yeah.
cheering for a team, or were you
I was
just
cheering for a
watching?
good game.
Yeah.
And I think I got it. Like I was flipping back and forth from the Bengals game there, and the Bengals game got good too at the end, which was nice because it was after the CFL game. But sorry, Dean. I know. Sorry, like poor guy. I was thinking about him.
Yeah, he went to the game too.
Oh yes, that's right.
There's a lot of people that went to the game. I was noticing a lot of Instagram posts. I'm like, oh, sweet. A lot of people going to the game.
The issue in it was the cut hand by Coloros, which ultimately sealed the fate of the Bombers.
Yeah.
Like when he threw that first pick, it was already going to be pretty much over at that point. But then you're like, this guy, he can't throw.
No.
His like first throw was an interception almost. And it's like, no, this guy can't do it. And they almost should have pulled him. If they had they almost shouldn't have even continued with him up there because he wasn't going to be able to get it done. And instead it ended up becoming a massive blowout. And the Bombers, looking for another Grey Cup next year to finish it off, at least for them in a nice bow, which is they win at home. That's the goal. But the dynasty talk is done.
Salvage the legacy, though.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Salvage the legacy. Forget the dynasty.
Man, like, I don't know. It can if they go back and win it next year, and they're in the Grey Cup 6 years in a row and win 3. I don't know. Like I agree, maybe not a dynasty, but
Not dynasty.
would that be special? That's something else.
And a great way to finish it off. At home, Zach Claros can ride off into the sunset. But like Dusty sent us the stats. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 3 straight Grey Cups.
That is incredible.
And I think Miltz is 6 interceptions. He's 0 for 6
Yep.
in his last 3 Grey Cups.
Yep.
Ouch.
The Jonas Brothers concert or halftime show.
What'd you think?
Unreal.
Yeah?
Unreal. And I'm not like a Jonas Brothers fan by any means. It gave me close to Super Bowl production.
Really?
Yes.
It was one of the best produced halftime shows I've seen in a long time.
It was so good. I had goosebumps.
Nice.
I loved it.
didn't
CFL
see
stepped
it.
up its game with the halftime shows in recent years.
You need to. Like, someone
Yeah.
like me is just like, I think everybody was raving about it, actually. Like, what did you think?
I didn't see it. I was supper time.
I was with it. I knew some of the songs. It wasn't for me personally, but I understand why a lot of people liked it.
I
Yeah.
knew some of the songs, and I was like, I know this song. Yeah, it's good.
Like I can't tell you one song Jonas Brothers sings. I mean, if I heard a song, I'd probably be, oh, that's a Jonas Brothers. Okay, but
Cake on the beach.
I don't know.
Cake by the Ocean is
I
is it
hate
DNC?
that
The remix.
song.
It's not even a Jonas Brothers song.
Oh.
It's a Joe Jonas song. I can't remember. It's one of them.
He
DNC.
sang that
But he's
song?
part of a side group.
That's right. Like Nick
They
Jonas.
did a couple of their solo
Yes,
stuff.
he
okay.
Nick Jonas did "Jealous," which was my favorite song when he went to the side with the mic, and it was so smooth. Oh, I loved it.
On the Lock Shop last week when Huss and I were going through Grey Cup picks and all of that, I did do some deep analysis into the Jonas Brothers and did throw out their Sucker as the last song, and Sucker was the last song. So my deep dive analysis of Jonas Brothers
You hit it.
paid off.
Good.
For the people that tune in, because in the Lock Shop we don't leave a stone unturned. Ever. We dive deep into that stuff, and I use Spotify streaming numbers to help me figure that one out.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, I think Jay and Reed had a bet on what song was gonna be the first one. I didn't know what that song was.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I think it would have hit the over, because the over under was four and a half songs.
and
though.
they sung a lot of songs. I think it was way more.
Yeah,
than
they
that.
ripped through like a minute and a half.
And
each
that's what makes
kinda
it so
thing.
good, because
Yeah.
you're like singing the
There we go.
bangers, but like the best parts of the
meat.
bangers.
Yeah.
So the parts that you even know. Yeah.
8 songs. What a Man Gotta Do, Waffle House, Jealous, Cake by the Ocean, Leave Before You Love Me, Burnin' Up, Only Human, and Sucker. So they hit hard over the 4.5. And also it was Orange Gatorade that was poured
Yes,
on after
right
that.
away too, like immediately.
I love the towel guy. Yeah.
If I would have been watching it and they sang Cake by the Ocean, it would have been off.
You don't know that song? Or you don't like that song?
It.
I don't like that
is
song.
a terrible
I don't
song.
like it either.
I know it. That's why. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously it fit yesterday. So.
It did.
Yeah.
Like the stage was massive, the lights were huge. They had fireworks, they had fire. I love fire. They had a bunch of people surrounding the stage, and then after that, they had a bunch of dancers, so it made the field look full.
They put the cheerleaders from all the teams out there too.
Yes,
that's
that's
happened-
right.
that's happened
Elks
for a few
cheerleaders
years.
stuff. Yeah.
That has happened for a few years where the cheerleaders are all there for the halftime show.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
No, when they were doing some overhead shots of the stadium, one of the questions I was saying, like, where in the heck do people park when they go there? I didn't see any parking lots.
Parking
She
lot
would
was
have
tough.
answered.
I have a lot of family there.
Yeah.
And they went to the Canucks game, which was after. And a lot of people actually bounced from the CFL game to the Canucks game, by
Yeah.
the way.
It's
It's
which
right
is-
across the street.
It's such a good idea,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But apparently, parking was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Was there parking lots there? 'Cause
No,
you
they
couldn't
said that it was
see any.
packed,
Yeah.
and that people for the Canucks game were struggling so hard.
Good. They should have
Yeah.
scheduled a
That's too
Canucks
bad.
game during
Yeah,
the Grey
exactly.
Cup.
Yeah,
Stupid NHL.
Very stupid.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Canucks lost, suckers. But 6-1, I think, right, against Nashville.
Yeah.
6-1?
Well,
I-
Nashville beat them. It was
I'll double check that.
5-2.
5-3,
Nashville
maybe.
convincingly won.
There was no flyover yesterday, was there?
Yeah,
I was wondering about that. No.
I was excited, and then I just realized that there was no flyover.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I like a good
wrong
fly.
with
5-3.
Vancouver?
I was way off.
5-3, yeah.
Figure it out,
Stamkos
Vancouver.
2 goals, I think.
Is that right? He finally showed up.
so.
Nice.
Hey.
Good.
But-
he needed to.
Like first of all, parking in Vancouver, it's tough. There's a lot of like parking garages and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember going to the Heritage Classic there 10 years ago.
I hate that Heritage
Cass
Classic.
was not in that game, but he took warm up. Um,
The biggest non-player in that game.
That's right. Yeah, not Roberto Luongo, who they booed Alain Vigneault for that.
He got traded right away because of
Yeah,
that.
he got traded right away. Parking for the Heritage Classic, like a few blocks away, was like $100 a stall.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So I can imagine it was probably similar, if not more, this time around with a Canucks game and the Grey Cup happening literally across the street from one another.
And then I always get sad when Grey Cups ends, though, because it's now we're the furthest to the next CFL
Well,
game.
no,
was a good
because now
season.
we get to focus on
I
the
know,
Edmonton Elks and
but
what's
I just
going to
want to
happen.
watch another
It's
CFL
exciting.
game. Like, it's like, let's get another one in. I'm so pumped up. And now it's like, well,
But that's a good feeling. I know we're CFL nerds and we love it, and Jasmine's just becoming one, which is excellent. But the
I know how
fact
to
like
win
the
championships on like the
Proudly.
Bombers.
Yeah.
well, the what?
I know how to win
Golf
championships
nerd,
on like the
right?
Bombers. That's
Yeah,
just
you-
a side.
well,
I'm a
you-
4-time champion, unlike the Bombers who are only 2-time champs.
There you go in your league. But like the Jonas Brothers and Jasmine, I think that's a good example of like, oh, that was good. Oh, maybe I'll watch the CFL game. Hey, is it good entertainment? But yes, that's part of bringing in newer fans to the game. And then, the ownership group now in the CFL being much stronger than it used to be, I think is going to be a nice way to potentially create better revenue. And they're starting to take steps, it feels like, in the right direction. And then the fact that the product on the field is still very good, a fun Grey Cup game, that's a huge momentum going forward.
The cherry on the top was what they have in the States is a streaker.
Oh, that they had over the States?
Did you? Well, there's always like a streaker at
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Like
yeah.
this time it was a woman last night. Did you see that?
I saw that, yeah. Well, I saw a
Question.
picture.
I don't know if I should ask
and
it on the Hangout, though,
I
but-
thought it looked like it was a woman, so I made my screen a little bit. That's a woman. That never happens.
Right?
Like, what's going
What's
on
your
here?
question?
Did she have like nip tassels on or something?
I didn't actually see any good shots of it or anything.
I saw Duthie pick up his phone, so maybe text him. Because you
Oh
could
my
see
God.
someone had a wide shot, and
Yeah.
you could see the CFL panel, and they're just watching, and then I see Duthie be like,
My cousins had good, like they had good seats, so they sent me a good video over.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, blow it up. Check it
She,
out.
I tried. That's why I'm asking.
she was very, very calm.
Very calm. Had a
Yeah,
coat.
like security
Yeah.
Put
didn't
her
get
coat
there at
back
all.
on.
No.
Like
I'm
she,
pretty
I
sure that was
think,
VPD that got her.
I think she ran off the field on her own before
No,
security
a
caught
couple
her.
of
Did
them.
they?
Yeah.
They I mean,
So was she naked, or?
Oh, she
Yeah.
is naked.
Oh,
Unless
she's wearing
tassels
boots.
except
Yeah,
for
she's-
tassels.
She's wearing boots. I saw
Wearing
that.
nicer boots.
Chilly day in Vancouver,
She
I guess.
dropped her phone, picked it up. So I'm like, everybody got a view of that too.
Wow.
Well, that's funny. I think it's funny. I
I
think
hate
it's great. I think it's
Stop
like,
doing
something
it.
to talk about. Yeah,
Stop
so
delaying the
Maddie's-
game. Well, it's just it causes idiots, and like I remember the Ice Tekka game. There was one guy that went out, and then I think like 2 more followed, and I'm like, this is just going to lead to even more people. And watch, Canada's going to lose this match because we'll have to forfeit because everyone's running the field. Like,
Don't do that.
no, don't run the field. Because it's also like if they run the field and a player will go hit them, and then they sue the player because they got hit.
Yeah.
You're entering the field to play. Like if you want to get on
Yeah,
that field to
yeah,
play,
you-
then you could be rocked by a player.
Yeah, you
that's
get what
fair.
you deserve for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't have.
I don't think
Unless Kevin Harlem's calling it, I don't have time for streakers.
Nobody was going to tackle that streaker. I think they just enjoyed the show.
But as Murray said,
It's just funny.
now we're on to the off season,
Yes.
and we
exciting
have
time.
clocks ticking because Sunday will come soon enough. And Sunday's the deadline Chris Morris has imposed that a new GM will be put in place, which it's Ed.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Like when you listen, Grey Cup Saturday, Grey Cup Sunday, Farhan, Naylor, they're like, the belief is it's going to be, he's the front runner. He's not conducting Hamilton business until this gets all sorted out. It's like, why wouldn't it be Ed?
That's
If
the
they're this
question.
far
it's,
into it.
it's Ed.
And then possibly Rick Campbell as the head coach.
That's
Changes are coming in BC.
That's what the tea leaves are suggesting right now. I still think they want Moss, but I mean, it's probably not. I mean, his contractual situation doesn't make it happen. Campbell's not a bad plan B.
No. Jason has a good thing going in Montreal. I talked to him last year because he's part of Ozone Live as well. Just saying.
He's a big
and-
hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, and he still lives here, just up by Sherwood Park. But he was saying that he really likes the ownership group in Montreal that they have now. The new owner is Palado, I think, and then him and Danny Machocha have a very strong relationship. So he seems to be quite content there, and they have a great team. But I mean, Rick Campbell was on the staff when Ed was the GM of the team prior.
Ed hired
Ed
him.
hired him in BC, but they never worked together.
Yeah.
Right, because Ed left. But then also Jordan Maximic is on the radar to come here too.
Would he come here too? I thought he would. I didn't hear that one because I would have figured maybe he'd get the elevation in BC if they're looking for someone.
Well,
But that would be
you
like,
never
'cause
know.
he's
that's
a bright offensive
possibility.
mind.
Yeah.
He was here initially.
was here
under
before,
with
yeah.
Moss.
Yeah. So I mean, again, and the relationship with Hervey, Rick Campbell, Maximic. I mean, Maximic could end up with the head coaching job there, but if not,
But then it leads to like, then who's the quarterback, right? Like,
Well,
well,
Aiden texted in, said, "Did you guys see that Trey was at the game yesterday in full Edmonton gear?"
Hernan texted me that photo that he was there. I don't know if that means anything.
Maybe it's a wait and see. If you're Trey, you're waiting and seeing, right?
yeah.
Well, it's also that's not even a Trey option. That's a VA is the number one thing that everyone's going to pay attention to,
Right.
And VA is a bigger deal than Trey. He's a proven starter as opposed to Trey.
How
being a proven
old
starter.
is VA?
32? Was it?
So he's a declining, diminishing
Yeah.
asset.
Yeah, and Trey's 26. Like for me, like if I was the general manager of Chris Morris was like, Matt, I'm taking you from Edmonton Sports Talk. You're the new GM of the team. And I went, sure.
Yeah.
I would be wanting Trey.
But you and I are massive Trey Ford lovers.
So VA is going to be 32 in January. So next season he'll be 32.
Yeah.
Trey
Trey's gonna be 26, I think.
is going to be 27 next season.
27.
So what is that?
5-year difference.
5-year difference.
It took VA 5
Yeah.
years and bouncing through teams
Yeah,
around
to
the league
find
to
the right
really
spot,
take hold
yeah.
in the league. He didn't really. He had a little stint in Montreal where he was the
Yes.
guy, and then they moved
Then
him
COVID
out.
happened.
Yeah,
Came back and never replicated it.
yeah,
And then he got shipped to BC.
yeah. And then that's where.
There's
But-
big rumors of him going to Calgary though,
But so now that now what's the relationship with Rick Campbell? That's what I
and
always
Jordan
think
Maximic.
Well, which is so there's two ways you could look about that. Rick was the one that brought in Nathan Rourke possibly, which would not be a great relationship then I would assume with VA. But or did Amar Doman do that and Rick was forced with that? So that I'm curious with VA. Then what happens in Montreal with Cody and David Alexander? They have to make a decision because David Alexander is a free agent.
Didn't
And
Machocha say something about it too? That,
So did Moss. That they have to make a decision over the next few weeks
Yeah.
on this. And I don't know how, like, if I'm Montreal, I'm all in on Davis Alexander based on what I saw because the guy's younger. Dave, how old is Davis Alexander? Davis Alexander is 26.
Fajardo's got to be early 30s now. He's been in the league for eight years.
32. He'll be 33 next
same
season.
Yeah.
age as-
Like, I think you can't allow Davis Alexander to walk, I think.
yeah.
Did the Elks have interest in Cody Fajardo? I hope
I
not.
hope not. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, the name to BC as a head coach that I was hearing was not Maximic. It was Buck Pierce, which also makes a boatload of
Makes
sense.
It makes sense too for Winnipeg because at some point, like the Richie Hall was their DC last year. He was an assistant, and they elevated someone else to DC. And some other changes have to happen. You can't just run it back again. Always, like you do have to make some sort of changes.
Yeah.
Maybe Buck Pierce is one of those guys. That it works so perfect that he could go become a head coach.
Yeah.
Winnipeg is forced to. Okay, we
Make a
need a
change,
new
yeah.
offensive guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but you think about that though. If the Elks had Campbell, Maximic, now what's going to happen with special teams guy from Calgary?
Craig Dickinson,
Mark
No,
Killam.
Mark Killam. Yeah.
Golden Bears.
Well, supposedly he wants to stay in the CFL, though. He's lobbying hardcore, I was hearing, to become the head coach here in Edmonton. But if
Stay
he
away.
does- yeah. So the allure of him is worn off with the special teams play in Calgary the past couple of years. So I don't vision him getting a head coaching job. So does he go to the Golden Bears and take over for Chris Morris, or would he be happier as the special teams coordinator in Edmonton, which I think Edmonton would be happy to have him in that role?
I would say if you're Mark Killam, if you really want to be a head coach, you need to become a DC or an OC at some point, or you have to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Personally,
Because
it's not
working. Well, Noel Thorpe has never been a head coach. And he's just been a special teams coordinator for years and years and years, right?
DC.
Or
He's
DC.
DC
sorry.
Montreal and he's been in DC for a while.
Okay.
But like it's like, to me, Mark Killam, the fear I have is he's interviewed so many times he's not getting the job. So
Yeah.
like, why isn't he always getting these jobs? There's something.
Yeah, for sure.
So to me, go take the Bears job and prove that you can go be a solid head coach.
Well, and the longevity. I mean, Chris Morris was there for 10 years, so he could go there and be there for 10 years and have a lot of job stability and security and a place where he's comfortable. And it
Or
could
be there for 3-4 years and then get a job in the CFL.
Yeah.
If things go well.
Yeah. Certainly options there, but I mean, him as the special teams coordinator with the Elks, I would like that too. I think that would be a good fit, and you're building kind of a really rock starish coaching staff if you could get if that's the way it plays itself out. DC, I'm not sure. I mean, a DC,
I'd keep
we have
Jason Shivers.
I think I was going to say that. I think there's a guy here that could already kind of maybe just fit right in and
He might have a 2-year deal anyways.
have some continuity there, so that'd be good too. I don't know.
Jason Shivers.
It's just interesting. It's
I
going
know.
to be an interesting little stretch of time here moving forward.
We're gonna get some news soon, hopefully.
I think tomorrow is a big day for this because I think there's big meetings tomorrow. I think that's what one of the insiders had yesterday. So I think we might start hearing some more rumblings from this team. But like by Sunday, we're supposed to at least know who the general manager of this team's going to be.
Yeah.
And if they're smart, it should either come on or it should come on Wednesday. Tonight there's an Oiler game. Tomorrow there's an Oiler game. Thursday there's an Oiler home game. Schedule that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
There's only Bozone Live on Wednesday, so that's all.
Or Friday, but
Perfect.
Friday is... Well, I guess you could announce and then have a press conference next week. If you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
But it's either got to be Wednesday or Friday. Do not do it when there's an Oiler game day.
Well, and that could be too, because maybe if it's Hervey, they just announce and then maybe figure out the Campbell thing or figure out who your head coach is and then do a big
All in
presser
one.
next week and introduce your GM and head coach together.
And announce
would
that you
make a lot
tried
of
to
sense.
sign Trey Ford to a 4-year deal.
Five.
And everyone loses their mind.
Yes. Season ticket sales skyrocket.
Good. That'd be great.
I agree.
I'd build around him, see what happens. But
Yeah.
if I will say, if there's any other quarterback I could live with for Edmonton, it would be Davis Alexander.
Sure.
Yeah, another young guy who looked really good with Montreal.
Yeah.
I like it. I want a younger guy. No disrespect to VA. VA's a great player, but I want a quarterback that I think could be here for 6, 7, 8 years.
Yes, exactly. And that's what Chris Morris was preaching. So we have that guy sitting right here. So just sign him, get it done, move forward. Like it.
It's that whole off. It is fun. You're right, Murray. It is fun, the offseason of the CFL. But then before we know it, it'll be February and it'll be free agency time. And we'll see how the pieces move around. And then it's going to be, we're almost at spring. And then it's going to be training camp. And
But those
we're all
pieces need to stop moving around as much.
I
And that's
agree.
what Chris Morris is talking about. And that's, I think we talked about it last time. Like within the whole league, guys need to stay places so the fans can latch onto them and know who's going to be on their team for
But can
a
they
while.
get Niles Morgan done?
I hope so.
They need to.
Yeah, I think they will. There's a
What's going to happen with their O-line? They actually had, as much as I thought it was going to be a bad O-line this year, and after a rough few weeks to start, that O-line was very solidified. But they've got a few free agents there, and they've got a couple of older guys. Are they going to be able to keep that O-line? There are, like, roster-wise, beyond quarterback, there's some really, like, can they retain Javon Leake?
He was a beast.
Are they going to change kickers?
They
which
should.
running back did they already?
Rankin.
Rankin. They signed Rankin. Okay, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Kevin Brown's kind of fate.
Yeah.
Was he free agent?
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah,
was on the
so-
practice roster. If you're a practice roster last game of the season, you're an immediate free agent.
So they'll sign Leak and let Kevin Brown go.
Yeah. Morgan and Anderson. Anderson, great speech, by the way, at the CFL Awards. Absolutely tremendous. He had a great rookie season. That linebacking core is excellent.
Oh,
Hey.
hi.
Hi.
Trey Ford wearing an Elks jacket yesterday at the Grey Cup.
Yeah, we
Yes.
were talking about that.
Good sign.
Hernandez
Hernandez
says,
is good
Trey,
sign.
he pops in, says,
It was a
hi.
winter jacket and he's indoors.
It's a winter, Jack, and he's
What does
indoors.
that tell you?
He's staying, baby.
He's already
Hernandez-
the
oh, he's staying,
contract
baby.
is
That's-
signed. It's already in the
Slide it
drawer.
under the door on your way
Sorry to
out.
interrupt.
Yeah.
And got it done. It's all done. It's gonna
Yeah.
be this massive press conference next
Well,
week. Wouldn't
that's-
that actually
I
be
mean,
something?
That contract in the drawer. I mean, that's I heard that from lots of the guys back in the past. That the contracts were done.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't get announced. They're just all in the drawer. And when the time comes, okay, now we're going to register and announce it. But I mean, a lot of stuff is done. So, I mean, Trey Ford could be done, and we just don't know it.
I think that would be great.
Chris saying, if we don't get Trey Ford, what's our next option? They're actually, wildly enough, they're now actually options. It's either going to be one of 4 quarterbacks will be an Edmonton All quarterback next year. It's going to be Trey Ford. It's going to be Vernon Adams Jr. It's going to be Davis Alexander. It's going to be Cody Fajardo. That's simple.
Oh, get Cody Fajardo off that list immediately.
But it's an option. I will say that right now that there is a chance. It's greater than 0% chance Cody Fajardo is the starting quarterback of the Edmonton Elks next season. If Montreal chooses to go with Davis Alexander and he shakes loose, Calgary gets VA. Where does Cody go?
Not Edmonton.
It will be Edmonton. What if Trey doesn't want to sign here? Like that's like there's.
Okay, where does MBT go?
He's retired. He's no longer in the Canadian Football League.
No, he's gonna sign again. I'd be
No one's
okay
going to
with-
want him.
I could see him sign in Edmonton as long as it's
No.
he's the backup to Trey.
I don't think he wants anything to do with Edmonton anymore.
Well, I don't know.
Someone sent in. Did you see the video into the inbox?
No.
Very close up view of yesterday's streaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
look.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the EST Hangout live on TuneIn, on radio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, live on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcast. Portions of this hour of the Hangout brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. Jasmine, Murray, Matt, Tommy with you here. Do also want to say that we will get to our EST flyaway keyword in a little bit. I just got to check soon to see
Where
when
is
Trev
it?
is available. And then the official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend of 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada is where you can go check which liquor store near you has it. And we had Sakaria on the show on Friday, and we talked about it with him. The long drink, something you can go get at Rogers Place as a deal with OEG and the long drink. They join us in the Hangout. They join with the Oilers and OEG.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're all
Great
watching
things.
the streaker video.
That's
that was
fine.
sent in. It's got
Keep
1.3
jacking.
million views. This angle here,
How many views?
1.3 million.
Gee whiz.
She's got a smile on her
She's
face.
just walking. But
Yeah.
see, like she's walking off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
it's
then
all
the
like-
cops grab
very
her.
cute.
Yeah, but
Canadian.
she was able to get on the field and walk off the
Yeah.
field before
Drop
anyone
her
got
phone.
Oh
her.
Yeah.
my gosh. There,
Like that's the one thing.
Yeah.
when she put that jacket on, it didn't leave much to the imagination, did it?
No.
Oh.
Well, she's probably gonna get like maybe she'll get a deal somewhere.
She'll have an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, that's right.
Grey Cup streaker.
In this economy, can we touch upon the Oilers quickly, if that's okay?
Yes.
I know, Tommy, you're on at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Today? You are?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
You
So we-
engage her.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Obviously, let's quickly talk about the hit. Any update on Nurse? I want to know.
Oh,
Like,
they announced 5 to 10 days. He's expected to miss. Sounds like.
that's crazy.
Yeah. He was bleeding from his eye sockets.
Yeah.
It was
That was
violent,
scary.
violent hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
As immediately I turned to my wife and said, he's getting 5 games. But now hearing that, if Nurse is out and misses 3 or 4, is 5 games enough? Like, that's an interesting question. The injury
fine.
that happens, should the suspension time be weighed in, any part of it factored into the injury result?
I know that always comes up,
I
especially with
know.
something pretty
I don't know what I
nasty
think.
that looks like that.
Yeah.
And they announced the suspension yesterday, 5 games for Ryan Reeves.
No
If he didn't
fine,
get-
right?
Well, he has to forfeit his pay. It's like $35,000 in
okay.
salary.
All right.
So 5 games is
Is a
That's
lot.
a big
It's a step
suspension.
one, yeah.
His
Good.
3rd or 4th suspension, but that was just violent.
So what
Yeah.
do you say with the people that are like, "Oh, Nurse's head should have been up"? Like what?
He
the
did
hell is
have
that?
his head
Yeah,
down.
he did. Right, he was kind of looking forward.
he was
Like,
coming around the net, head was down, and he was about to look up. Reeves clips him, shoulder to
Shoulder.
the head, and then I think obviously the fall probably had a lot to do. His head hit the ground, but maybe Darnell was like knocked out. And then
might
the
have
scary
been,
part
yeah.
was he had like the 2. He was all crumpled up, right?
Yes.
And,
yeah.
and then you see him get up, and Darnell's a tough guy. He really is. And they, I know Jack put out he's in the locker room, he's up, he's cracking jokes, but that's just Darnell. He's a strong, tough guy. But what happened to him was violent, and
Yes.
he suffered brain trauma. Like
Yeah.
it's a concussion for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what it takes to make your eyes bleed like that, because it wasn't just a cut. It was someone sent me a picture, a Getty Images photo, and it's not good.
It is irrelevant how strong and tough anybody is.
Exactly.
The head is a different beast.
Exactly.
You can be Mike Tyson in his prime, and your head is just different.
Let me see.
Yeah.
You didn't see that?
it's. Yeah, but like, why is Ryan Reeves even in the game anymore? He's a terrible player. He's just a goon. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that at all.
Legit. It's just like just so unsportsmanlike. And then I know people make mistakes. Like he came back to the locker room to apologize, but come on. Like it's 2024.
Yeah, be
you
better.
should know better by now.
Yeah, be better.
Be better.
Now move on from that. How about the 5-minute power play right after?
I was gonna say, how about the freaking overtime? What the hell is going on here?
Well, we had a lot of fun on the post game show. I'll tell you that
I
much.
wanted to watch it, but I was busy.
It was hectic. It was chaotic, and Leafs fans started to infiltrate too.
Did they now? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, they came out of the
got
woodworks,
in
did
there.
they?
We had some Leafs fans, kind of not as bad as Canucks fans, but they got in there. Listen, the overtime. The fact that it had to go to overtime, I think, is frustrating. Now, at the end of the day, Edmonton's got points, or 5 out of a possible 6 last week, that's good. Ultimately, they lose the 3-game winning streak. Try to start another one. It is concerning that they can't hang on to a lead.
Yeah.
It is concerning that their second best defenseman makes terrible plays in crucial times of the game, or doesn't.
Twitter was
back
on
check.
him.
And they should be. He had a terrible sequence.
Yeah.
He did.
This might be perfect for the Edmonton Oilers.
His
The contract?
Yeah, well, fair. His give a shit meter just looked like it was like not even registering.
Doesn't he always
those
do that
moments.
though?
Oh, I
Isn't he
know.
always like
Kind
a
of his
slow burn?
demeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he comes in when we need him, kind of
He's
thing.
a slow starter.
Yeah.
That's 100% his MO. That's 3 years in a row where he's come out of the gates each season not particularly hot. And last night, man, that pass, even in the pass that got everything going that led to the 2 goals against in the third period. What was that? Who were you throwing it up to? Like I said on the post-game show, like, we might not even be here right now discussing it like we are if it was just a chip off the glass.
Chip off the glass. It was a simple play.
No options. Chip it out. Regroup.
Sure.
Let them have it and get ready
it's-
to defend.
Mitch
Very
Marner,
fr-
always Mitch Marner with us. I feel
Well,
like. He's so good.
and I mean, that's the wrong guy to get the puck, right?
Yeah,
in that position
absolutely.
for sure. I mean, Austin Matthews wasn't playing,
That was
but
frustrating though. Like I was actually pissed. Like I
Yes.
know I was having a good time with with all the homies, and I'm just pissed. That's why I wanted to chime in. I was like gonna go to the corner.
Should have.
and watch your show.
Oh my goodness.
Just drive to BP's, just vent.
but the other piece to that with Darnell Nurse hurt, the depth of the Oilers' decor has been questioned forever, and now really 3 legitimate. I mean, Kulak maybe 4 legitimate, guys.
Yeah.
Now one of those key guys is out.
Yep.
And to be fair, like Darnell Nurse has taken a lot of heat. His contract's too much money, but he's had a decent year.
Very fair. Yep.
And now he's out for, a period of time. Oh my gosh, that decor is not good. Like the depth,
not sexy,
it
no.
is not good. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they weather the storm without him. But yeah, I'm a little fearful for what this might look
What
like
about
over the next
Skinner?
few games.
People are also going after Stu Skinner right now too.
Well, they always do.
They always do. I saw Belsey sent me a text. Someone break it down like Edmonton's the high danger chances faced by all starting goalies in the league. Skinner has the worst save percentage in that scenario. I just rolled my eyes when I saw that, and I said it the other night. I'll reiterate it. I wasn't going to bail Stu Skinner out or defend him in that game. You'd like to see a save here or there, but the Oilers' defense and 5-man unit in their own zone as a group are terrible. They give away just absolutely juicy, delicious chances to the opposition consistently. So yeah, you'd like a save, but when you're giving away tap-ins basically, or the guys are banging in second or third opportunities unchecked, nobody's goal. Their save percentage isn't going to be great. So it's to analyze off a stat sheet like that. Like people don't watch. They don't understand. I'm sorry.
Here's where I'll challenge those Stu Skinner in that in 12 games this year, though, he's given up 3 goals or more in 10 of them.
Yeah. He's got crappy defense
Yeah,
from him.
look-
And
But at some
there
point,
have been times where
you
he has
need a
not made the save.
goaltender to be like this is where I think the frustration comes with Stuart Skinner is that sometimes you need a goalie to bail out your defenders. You need to have those games where the goalie, where people go on and be like, the Oilers goalied the other team tonight.
Legit.
And you never have that with Stuart Skinner. You never say the Oilers goalie something. We're always hearing it the other way that the Oilers got goalied, but it's never Skinner's fault. It's always, well, it's the defense, or he never pulls up and goalies the other team. Like to have that many games where you give up 3 goals or more through 12 games, that's not good enough.
I'm not going to
That's so
disagree
true.
with
Very
you,
good
but
point.
like again, yes, you'd want to say, but you could put Hellebuck in those scenarios, and maybe you get 2 or 3 saves that make a game closer, or you win that game instead of Stu Skinner coughing up 3+ like he has been. But this defense, the way that they defend is just brutal, and they leave their goalies out to dry all the time. Yes, I would like a save from Stu Skinner from time to time. The 3+ goals against. There are games where he's been the best guy, but he's getting such good opportunities against him, and Pickard too. It's like, what else do you want him to do? But the other night, I'm not defending him for that.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes you need him to step up. But
Exactly.
he's
Maddie
in
has
year
really good
3,
point, for sure. Yeah.
and we forget that he's in his 3rd full year. He's gone to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It was a bumpy road to it, but he got there. Calder finalist, and he's also been an All-Star. So, I mean, that's a pretty good track record. Does he need to be better? Yes, 100%.
He needs George Mumford again. He needs George Mumford again to talk
George
to him.
Mumford's around.
I know, but he needs a quick one-on-one. Not a quick. He needs a long one-on-one with him.
Like if that puck
Find out.
bounces off the guy's
He's around.
Find out. Sorry.
if the puck bounces off that guy's butt from Bouchard to Ryan Reeves in front of the net, Stewart's making the save. I mean, it's Mitch Marner. These guys are NHL players and good ones. So, yeah, you're not going to make those saves.
Yeah.
I mean, once in a while, sure. But you know what? He makes saves. It's not like he's letting in. His save percentage isn't 700. Or,
No, it's not good. It's not good.
What is the
It
save
is 3+
percentage right now?
goals a game. The Oilers aren't scoring. Their scoring's up a little bit
Up
the
a
last
little bit
week,
the
but
last
they
week.
don't score a ton. And
The save
people are-
percentage in 877.
Yeah. But like Aiden Hill in Vegas isn't particularly good. His save percentage isn't good. There's a few other starters in the league and guys that are a higher caliber goaltender than Stu Skinner at this point in their careers that do have equally as bad save percentages. We're going through the list on Saturday.
So Oilers are heavily favored today, I believe, against Montreal.
They should be. Montreal's a bad team.
Yeah.
Just saying. That stuff scares me. We were also favored with the Toronto, right? So
Yeah, but
Man, but I mean, look at I would take Montreal's defense core tonight over Edmonton's for sure. Like,
we get Josh Brown, our first taste of Josh Brown.
boy, what's that defense going to look
Pickard
like
in
tonight?
that today too.
Is it Pickard?
Yeah.
I thought I heard Stu was going to play.
Well, it's a back-to-back, so we know we're going to get both of those guys.
Yeah.
So that should be a good one. Nice arena.
Eden says the Oilers are 3rd best in the league for shots against per game. The team defense is doing its job. When they give something up, it's a golden opportunity. At some point, he needs to save a couple. Eden, I agree. He needs to save 1 or 2 of those, but some of those chances that they're giving up are just like, again, like
58
Dominic
goalies
Hasek
have
would
played
save it.
5 games or more, and Stuart Skinner's 52nd in save percentage.
Yes, that's not good.
Like that's the issue, and that's like, and Aiden Hill's not good. You're right. Jordan Binnington's not good. Calvin Pickard's not good. But there are a lot of other goalies that are higher, and that's where like Cam Talbot has got a 927 save percentage. Stolarz has got a 927 save percentage.
Look at my Blackhawks goalie save percentages.
You got Mrazek?
Mrazek's good, man. He's so good. And Soderblom's playing well, too.
Although Bedard hasn't scored in a while. He's not scoring a lot right now.
Who's that?
Bedard.
No, he's in his biggest. He probably played his worst game of his NHL career against Vancouver the other night.
And then Hall got healthy scratched.
He did. He sucks. Yeah. The Blackhawks defense and goaltending is outstanding, but boy, can they not score. I mean, their scorers, they're guys that are supposed to put the puck in the net are not putting the puck in the net. That's for sure.
Well, they need to get Hall needs to start doing a little bit more so they can trade him and get some value for him.
Well, yeah. Fuck, he might get Athanasiou'd and get sent to Rockford if he doesn't pick up his socks here.
No kidding. Chicago scored 43 goals in 18 games.
So the Blackhawks are last place in the NHL right now. And they played, I believe it's 18 games. 17 of the 18 games In the third period, they've either been winning, tied, or within one goal at some point in the third period. They are not getting blown out at all. They're in every single game. So Vancouver, they lose 4-1. 2 of those goals were empty net. So it's really a 2-1 hockey game. Like
Yes.
they're competitive, but they just aren't scoring enough to win hockey games.
6-11-1.
Yeah.
What did they say? Closes only counts in horseshoes.
Horseshoes
And hand
grenades, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're they've vastly improved over last year in a lot of ways, but they're still a bottom team in the NHL.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we'll take one more one more stud forward to go with Connor Bedard. That's the issue, I think, though, is they've never really found a running mate for Connor Bedard yet. A guy that has really good chemistry with him. And last year, Philip Kurashev did a little bit, but Kurashev is he's awful this year.
What about Teravainen? How's he doing over there?
Started off great, and now he's been a ghost for the last 10, 11 games, doing nothing. Bertuzzi's doing nothing. Like, those guys
Those are good players.
Yeah,
They're
so they're doing
supposed
nothing.
to be.
I think Luke Richardson's starting to get in a
Hot seat?
hot seat. Yeah, that's wasn't their plan, but you know when these guys are coming in and not contributing, not doing anything, well,
No, the coach that deals with the rebuild always gets gone.
Yeah.
They never take the team to the next level.
Yeah.
pretty rare. He's a good coach though, good guy, and
Yeah.
but you know when guys like Taylor Hall, Tyler Bertuzzi, Teravainen are doing F all for you.
No, there's always that. Yeah, the next coach needs to come in to get them that next step, and then there'll be one more coach for the final step type thing. That's generally how it goes, unless you're the city of Edmonton and you have the Oilers who just keep doing it.
So when you just wrapped off that list of goalies and with all the terrible save percentage, you just wrapped off every single goaltender that's in discussion for Canada's goaltending in the big tournament.
Logan
So,
Thompson might be playing his way into this team.
like
Which is great. Well, no, he was good in Vegas.
who are the 3 goaltenders going to be? Like that one,
Bennington is, I think, a lock.
a lock. I agree.
Yeah.
Logan Thompson is 9 games, 8-0-1 with Washington, 9-13 save percentage.
Yeah.
No shutouts. He's playing himself. It's Benning, it's Hill, it's Skinner. It's those 3, I
Yeah.
think, kind of.
Montembeau has faded away.
And in the end, it's one, like I stand by, it doesn't matter. You need adequate goaltending for Canada. They're going to score goals at the 4 nations.
You'd like to think so, yeah.
They're scoring goals. I'm not worried about Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, and the rest of that team, and Cale Makar on the blue line scoring goals.
How's Sidney Crosby's been so far? I haven't really.
Well, Pittsburgh's been trash.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but
Check
how
his
about
stats.
Ovechkin's? Ovechkin's on fire.
Yeah,
Hat-trick yesterday.
he's ripping it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's ripping it up.
Crosby is 20 games, 19 points,
Wow,
7 goals, 12 assists, point a game pace.
that's like a guy just doesn't slow down, does he?
Put him on Team Canada, baby.
Yeah,
As captain.
Did you guys watch the Bills Chiefs game?
No,
I watched.
not really. I watched part of the first
it,
half,
yeah.
but I was getting all set for Grey Cup.
Yeah, I bet it was good. It
So-
was great, actually.
You know, interesting. The Chiefs now have lost a game, but they've been eking out games week after
Yeah,
week after
fluke
week.
after fluke.
And
Yeah.
obviously they're a good team. Good teams win those types of games, but I just don't think they're as good as they were. I don't think they're
You're falling into their trap, Murray.
Is
do
that
this
what I'm
every year.
doing? And then
They
when
did this the number last year. Everyone was saying this might be the end, this might be end. Then the playoffs comes and they turn it on.
They turn it on.
You're
yeah,
falling
maybe.
into the trap of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, maybe just because it's due. It's maybe like we'd all like to see somebody new come out of that.
Absolutely,
100%.
I'm with you.
Unless
on
you're
that.
a Chiefs fan, but like the Bills,
Yeah, Huss had a bad weekend.
did he?
Well, Huss, like since September, his combined teams maybe had like 2 losses. And then this weekend his Jets lose, his Bombers lose, and his Chiefs lose. It was a rough weekend for Huss.
Oh boy, I thought you were meaning on his betting, but
No, I'm talking about just his teams in general. Like, because the Jets didn't lose a game basically all season. The Bombers have been on a roll since Labor Day. The Chiefs were undefeated. Like, he had no losses. And then all in the span of hours and stuff over the course of this weekend, he's got 3.
okay. So
He's on the lock shop tomorrow.
Kansas City trap that you think I'm falling in. Kansas City, if they play Detroit right now, Detroit would slap them around like
It's not January. It's not February.
Well, that is accurate too.
Because I learned this watching the New England Patriots for all those years. They don't need to turn it on yet. It's November. They don't need to turn it on.
Right.
They don't need to be playing at their best right now. They need to do just enough to win those football games.
Right. And
Once
Detroit,
January and February comes,
yeah.
it's a different beast.
Right.
And Detroit's never been there.
Yeah, and they look like a juggernaut now, but you're not winning the Super Bowl right now. So that's a good point.
And they've never
But
had
boy, do
experience
they
Super
look
Bowl
good.
week. No one's stopping them in the NFC.
Oh, they look good.
How about, did you watch the Ravens game at least? Since
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
not
early?
talking about it.
That was tough to watch. I felt bad for you.
That's his
I didn't even
classic
text you. I was going
Ravens
to text you. I was
Steelers
like,
game.
don't text him. Leave him alone.
I was texting with my buddy who's a Ravens fan and stuff, and it's just it's who the Ravens are.
What happened?
They're the Ravens. They had too many penalties.
Yeah.
They're a team that's just so undisciplined right now. And then Justin Tucker, greatest kicker of all time, missed 2 field goals.
That was like the Bengals yesterday.
He's missing field goals. He's missed 6 field goals this season already. Justin Tucker. It's like he's falling off a cliff already.
I saw a stat that the Pittsburgh Steelers have like this, like 5 or 6 or 7 times better record than any other team in the NFL of winning games without scoring a touchdown.
I don't know how they're getting it done. Those
Mike Tomlin, man. He's a great coach.
Great coach, great defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Tommy?
that you just answered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the Steelers, but man.
And they ain't winning
I
the
hate
Super Bowl.
the Steelers. I hate the Steelers. Oof.
They ain't win the Super Bowl. Not
No.
Russell.
Big game for you guys tonight.
Yeah.
Cowboys game? Why? Who's watching this?
a Cowboys fan.
I'm not watching it.
I'm just like, yeah, Cowboys fans don't watch their own games.
Well, there's no college football, so I'm not going to watch.
It's the Cowboys are a victim of, yeah, like, and it happens in a short season in NFL. Like, you cannot overcome the injuries the Cowboys have had and be successful. I mean, it's just a waste of a year because they're so. But the best part about it is, I hate the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I hate him. He's terrible.
All the Cowboys fans seem to hate Mike
Yeah.
McCarthy.
So I'm excited for him to get fired, and I just hope to God that Jerry Jones hires the right guy.
He's going to Jacksonville.
Who is?
Belichick.
Well, good, because
Really?
I don't want him in Dallas, because that's
That's
who
the
I
rumor.
think Dallas
Is that right?
would
That's
hire.
I don't think he'd work well with Jerry Jones, and I don't think Bill Belichick would want to work with Jerry Jones.
Well,
Jacksonville had a great game yesterday.
yeah. I would like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson just seems to be pushing all the right buttons. I mean, I'm high on Detroit right now, obviously. But I don't know. Ben Johnson, I'll
Is
take
it
him.
U.S. Thanksgiving this week? Or is it next week?
Next week.
It's next week, so we're still not
Yeah,
there.
we're seeing lots of Black Friday commercials starting to pop up.
Get
so it's
those
gotta be
items in
close.
your cart.
Well, it's in college football, we get
Well,
the big
you
games
can only
next
buy
week.
on
then.
Amazon right now because of the strike.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got a lot of my packages. I've been waiting.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
You're not getting them now unless you buy on Amazon.
College football wise, big deal for Canadians this weekend.
Why is that?
Number 2, Ohio State at home to number 5, Indiana, which features
Curtis
quarterback Curtis Rourke. He gets that win, and it's going to be tough because they're undefeated, Indiana.
Is
I think he's very much in the Heisman watch, at the bottom end of Heisman watch right now. He goes into the horseshoe and beats Ohio State. He might vault himself up there.
Where is he when it comes to being on the radar for NFL teams, though?
I think at this moment he's a drafted. He's a
gonna
player
get
that's getting drafted. I think
That's
he's a
cool.
player that's 6th, 7th rounds, maybe. If not, undrafted free agent. Give it a shot. Like when you're in Heisman watch category,
Yeah.
you're getting a shot somewhere in the NFL.
Right.
How big is he?
It's a great question. Let me pull that up for
Well,
you.
isn't Nathan Rourke like 6'2"? He's got decent size. Not huge, but for
Yeah.
a quarterback.
It's
I'm assuming he's like prototypical.
that's fascinating though that Nathan Rourke came back to BC and just didn't he wasn't the same player. I mean, I think,
6'5", 223.
Wow.
geez,
He's got quarterback numbers.
yeah,
That's Curtis.
He's getting drafted for sure.
Nathan.
I would think so.
I think
But
Rourke needs some time
Yeah.
to just get back to playing football.
Yeah,
even like his first couple games back with BC, you'd watch him, and even like you watch his, not that I know a ton about like quarterbacking and footwork, but it just seemed like I'm like that's an NFL quarterback trying to play CFL football. Just like the timing and rhythm wasn't there.
yeah. It's interesting what that time away though of like basically being a practice roster guy, whatever what he was. I mean, yeah, you're not playing the game.
Disrupted, right?
Yeah. So I think an off season of training and just getting back into training camp next year, being comfortable with where he is and who he is, and I think he'll be fine. But it was a little shocking. I think everyone expected him to come in and just light the world on fire again.
Right. Even Ricky Ray, when he came back, took some time.
Yeah,
6'1", 210, Nathan Rourke.
Okay.
yeah, that's a big difference. How about your football team, though, Tommy G?
Yeah,
You got to
they're
have a
number one
smile
right
on your
now.
face.
Yeah.
A winning streak. What do we got? A 4-game heater going here? Nice. Kyler Murray, maybe he's maturing. Maybe he does put time in with the iPad and is putting down the video game.
the
Call
video
of Duty
games,
6 is out. Maybe he's waiting.
You know, there has not been very many quarterbacks in the NFL in the time period that he's been in the league that have as much talent as him.
I know.
He's got talent pouring out his ears.
But he does, and that's the frustrating thing about him. It was like the attitude, the spoiled brat kind of mentality, and then burning through coaches. Cliff Kingsbury was a terrible decision, obviously. But they've surrounded him with some weapons, and then the defense, Budda Baker's been great, obviously, too. And I don't think the NFC West is that strong, so they've kind of taken advantage and surprised a couple teams, even surprised me. So I don't know. This game coming up this week against Seattle will be interesting, but it's nice to see they've won a few games here that the Cardinals have where I'm like,
They're definitely going to beat Seattle.
I hope they do.
I don't love Seattle's team, but I mean, I thought San Francisco was that team like you were talking about that just gets it together at the right time, and I don't know if they're getting it together this year.
No, it doesn't
but
feel like
injuries
it.
there too.
Yeah.
Yep. So just give the Chiefs the Super Bowl title. We got to get to the keyword for the
Shut up,
EST
Maddie.
Flyweight presented by the 780. Homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They work with close to 100 local vendors from 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online, 780.com, the word 7, the numbers 80.com, or any of their 5 locations across the Edmonton area, Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport, 780-218-9999. Get your phone out to text in the keyword for today. Second last week to qualify for the EST Flyway. The keyword today is
Gibson. The keyword is Gibson. Gibson. Gibson.
as in John Gibson of the Anaheim Ducks, who you might see if that's the game you go see between Edmonton and Anaheim, as it's Warriors Clippers Intuit Dome, Rams Cards SoFi Stadium, as well as Edmonton taking on either LA or Anaheim. Flights, hotel, car, all provided by the 780. Get that in Gibson to 780-218-9999, and you will go into a draw, which Trav will call someone and we'll speak to you on the air momentarily. So keep your phone on. Giving this away next Friday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Do you want to get to Road Warriors presented by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing heavy haul trailers for mining, oil and gas equipment, highway transportation. Trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads. AccuSteel.ca. You already guys talked about it. It's Dallas, Tex, Houston tonight with who's the road team tonight? Who's
Houston?
Houston's on the road in Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about the sun.
Yeah.
Being a factor.
They said they
in
covered
Cowboys
that.
Stadium.
They covered that part up during the fights,
For the
right?
Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones doesn't want it covered up for a football game, so he'd rather have his quarterbacks and receivers all blinded by the sun. But for everything else,
So
they can
funny.
curtain it up.
Who was that CD that was complaining about it?
Wait, couldn't see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has like the black visor, right?
I think so.
Yeah. For a reason.
Oilers road team in Montreal taking on the Canadiens.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
GCL Diesel Ulstrom pregame show, 4:30. We will go during Reed and Jay's show. Tommy Hernan will be on for the hour to get you set. Reed and Jay will then finish off their show. After, we'll also have the GCL Diesel Ulstrom postgame show as soon as Oilers and the Canadiens finish off tonight. And then the Oilers, they'll take on the Sens tomorrow as the Oilers wrap up this 3-game road trip. Is that prime game tonight?
Yep.
It is.
It is
yeah.
prime. So
Oh, nice.
get your prime
5:30
account
start
on.
too.
Do your Black Friday shopping and then go
5:30 or 5.
go watch an Oiler hockey game on Prime. You could also watch the Monday Nighter Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with Lieutenant Eric. Century Casino loaded burger on special today at Century
right.
Casino.
Delicious.
The loaded burger is very good.
Thank you.
I need
Somebody
to go
thinks so.
back to BP Westgate and get our banner. I forgot it. Oopsies.
Way to go,
can't believe-
Tommy G.
The whole crew was there. They
was
all
awesome.
came through, and I was having massive FOMO.
Well, you hung out with people after. You
Yeah.
saw my brother.
Yeah. But still, I was
Why
like,
didn't you come down?
I should have came before,
Yeah.
And then I should have gone out.
Really good vibe.
Yeah. Because then I'm like, oh, Wannick's coming too? What the hell is this?
I wasn't
There.
there.
Oh, Maddie
didn't go?
didn't show up.
I was
No.
working.
Hernan came down.
I was here.
Hernan, yeah.
Rick was
And then I
there.
went and bought a printer. And then I didn't like the printer and I returned it on Sunday morning.
What a Saturday.
So-
Somebody's got to get that. I'm doing the Nasty Club cards.
You had
Nasty Club cards.
massive FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Oh,
yeah, so many nasties were there. I
Yeah.
haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah, good turnout.
And especially when I saw LT with you, I was like, this looks like a party. Like,
was a
I
good
wanna
time.
come.
Did anyone hit the golf sim?
Yep. There was a crew playing the golf sim. The giveaways were awesome. They had a
that Visi cooler?
Visi cooler that had
Yeah.
a speaker in it, an actual just speaker, an Oilers home jersey, and then like a Oilers Heritage Classic hoodie, and then
Golf
a Team
club.
Canada hoodie, and then we gave away a putter,
Oh,
a tailor-made putter, $250.
and where were you at? Sorry.
Boston Pizza Westgate.
Across the street from West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
170.
How was your dad's birthday?
Oh, they had a great time.
They had a great time?
They had an awesome
Good.
time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then right after the game, they put on the fights,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of people. A second wave of people that
Yeah.
came out. It was pretty full. It was a lot of fun. So we're going to be back there on the 30th. And Tony and Curtis from BP Westgate were like, "Yeah, we've got a ton of prizing, and Molson's been hooking them up with more stuff. That putter came from Molson." And I was like, "All right, like this is good." And then Hudson's is good times too. That's always a party in its own right, a little bit different. But
And
yeah,
you're going to start doing that now too, right?
yeah, we've been at Hudson's already this year, twice a month. We're at Hudson's White Avenue on the 21st, and then Hudson's Bourbon, I think on the 29th.
EdmontonSportsTalk.com at the very top.
Yeah.
It says EST on location.
That's right.
We have lists. I got to fill out December on that sheet, on that page momentarily or at some point.
And Kelly's Pub on the 23rd, which I think is brilliant.
It's so
I love
good.
It. I love it. Yeah.
So
Sorry, I just Jimbo saying, can I offer an update on anticipated shipping time for the Nasty Club premium bundles? I'm still waiting for the scarves to show up, as well as the lapel pins. Once I get those, then I could create the packages and send them out. Hopefully by the end of the month, everything will be gone. But then also just depending where you live with the
How are
Canada
you
Post
sending
and
them?
stuff.
Yeah, Canada
well,
Post, yeah.
I like I could go to FedEx and stuff for certain things, but they obviously don't service everywhere. That's the beauty of the Canada Post is that they do service everywhere. So if we'll have to go see. So if you are in an area that's not as serviced by other places, there might be a little bit longer of a delay as we wait to see what happens with Canada Post. There's only so much we can do about that one.
So I was going to ask, hearing about all these bars, Maddie, did you ever find out our EST bar location that got scooped up on us?
I don't know. I thought
you
it
haven't
was
heard
Planet
what
Fitness or something. It was supposed to.
Planet Fitness.
Shanks. He's talking about Shanks.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the most brilliant idea ever that Maddie wussed out on. So
what was down on?
I don't have the money, Murray, to just go drop on the Shanks.
Oh, but you have
building.
printer money?
I returned it. I returned it. I didn't like it. Didn't do the job.
Returning a printer on a Saturday night.
No, I
That's
did that on a
awesome.
Sunday morning.
Okay.
I bought it on Saturday night. Didn't like it, returned it.
Was it from Uline?
No, I bought it at
Oh,
Best Buy.
Uline.
Bought it at Best Buy. It didn't do the job for my cards. It didn't. It kept having paper jams. And this printer, I'm gonna try to see if I can fix this printer again. Otherwise, I gotta figure out what printer I want. It's not easy finding the right printer.
It's not.
No,
I can give you a recommendation. That one that Shaq advertises for, that Epson one, is really good.
but I don't know if it's gonna do the job for my thing is it can rip. It's
Talk about office supplies.
Very important.
is
man.
a printer not a printer?
the way I need it to double side, but it's got the perforated edges and stuff. And the one printer I bought, it jammed because it folded one of them and then it couldn't go anymore. And I need to do the double siding of it.
First world problems.
It's all these stresses. I need to. There's a VR says, "How about all your crypto money, Maddie? I'm gonna have to just use some of that to buy a real printer." Today I'm gonna be back on the crypto to get the money. I'll take $1,000 to turn into 5 so I can buy a Xerox printer. I don't know how we get it up here. I ain't carrying that up.
Well, we got what was that?
Dash
size of
says
that
Epson
pizza?
is awful.
That pizza we got up
I
here.
got one.
Remember
Oh,
that one
right.
big pizza that we had
Pizza.
that one day?
That was a ridiculous pizza.
That was a ridiculous pizza.
It was all right though.
In association today, just quickly, the Clippers are playing the Warriors. I think that's going to be a good game. Warriors are
Better
on
be
a
because
bit of a
people can
heater.
watch it on December 27th.
Oh, yeah, of course. Golden State Warriors are first in the West. That's wild. I don't like them. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. But just for a little bit of association talk, 'cause I think we covered a lot of sports today.
Little sprinkle.
know
Yeah, a
who's-
little sprinkle. Just, if you want to kind of.
Do you know who's fourth in the West?
Yeah, that silly
The Lakers?
in-season tournament's going on right
It
now.
is. Yeah, they got the crazy.
Yeah.
Emiratis NBA Cup specifically?
Is
Is
NBA
that
Cup
what it's
today?
called?
That is. I don't know if
It's
it's
been ongoing.
Yeah,
for-
but it's like, it's weird. Like fluctuates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are no NBA Cup games today.
Okay.
NBA Cup resumes tomorrow, which includes the LA Lakers home to the Jazz, who are 3-10, and the Lakers are 9-4. So the Lakers should get their NBA Cup victory. Can I look at the NBA Cup standings? In-season turn. Here it is.
And then Maddie and I,
you got
we're
Lakers
gonna
are
try to
1-0.
watch the OKC and Lakers game.
Celtics played
Sweet.
Atlanta.
Just
try to get all the nasties
We're
together for
favored
it.
by
I
like
love it.
13 and a
Tough
half in the
sell.
game
Hopefully,
and
like
lost
the Oilers
by
are playing at the same
one
time. That'd be cool.
in the NBA Cup. Sorry, I didn't realize. it was
Emiratis NBA Cup.
called- Oh boy,
fully
get it
sponsored.
right, hey, get it right.
No, they've changed the name this year because it was the in-season tournament last year. Now it's the NBA Cup, but it's sponsored by Emiratis.
I know we talked about quartz. Maybe. I don't know if we did. Quartz are awesome, but the blue ones are just a little too much. Don't you notice your whole broom is like glowing?
Yeah,
Like it's
it's-
radioactive?
It's trippy. Those
It's the blue-
those courts for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
in-season tournament.
I would find that, I'd imagine I'd be so annoyed playing in that.
Who's
the
your
blue.
team?
OKC.
OKC.
Yes.
You're not a Raptors girl.
I love the Raptors. They're Canada's team, but my real team.
They're not
is-
Canada's team. I hate that.
The Toronto's team.
Me.
Oh, it's they
No.
don't represent Canada. It's a business. The MLSE does not represent Canada. I'm not anti-Canadian because I don't cheer for the Raptors.
It's the NBA, damn it.
What's that got to do with anything? I just to me they're not Canada's team. Are the Leafs Canada's team?
No, because we have other NHL
Yeah, but they're all
teams.
Canada's team, so we should all cheer for any Canadian team ever. No,
Absolutely
No, I
not.
disagree. I don't care
No.
for the Blue
exactly.
Jays.
Exactly, because
I
they're
don't
not
care
Canada's
for any
team.
MLS team.
I don't like the
No thanks.
Who's your
Canadian
baseball
teams are the
team
teams that wear the Canadian they're
Arizona?
Team Canada.
Oh,
think
you're
the
an Arizona
Grizzlies-
guy through and through.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Memphis wore Grizzlies
Yeah,
stuff.
they
Very
did,
casual.
and that looked dope.
I didn't like. I got mad. I want the Grizzlies back. It just makes me like that. You're not the Vancouver Grizzlies. You're in Memphis.
Legit.
What is your
Don't
hat?
wear Vancouver
Be
stuff.
clutch?
It costs more money
Wow.
to get a team back than for a team to leave. Shouldn't
Jesse
have done
Kirschenbaum's
that.
new
Shouldn't have let them
company.
go.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not bad. I like it.
I got to qualify somebody now for the EST flyweight to LA. Who's on the line? Who am I speaking with?
What's going on? It's Jasmine might know who this is.
Sorry, what was the name again?
Gurge.
Oh, well, congratulations. Gurge says you might know who it is. Oh,
Hey, that's my brother.
Oh, okay, there you go. She can't hear you, but I can. She's very excited right now. Well, congratulations. You're in the
He's
mix.
listening. That's nice.
To go to LA. Congratulations. Have you ever been to LA before?
Yeah, Ben.
Have you gone with Jasmine?
How much bottle
no.
service did you
No,
make?
you've never gone. Okay. Were you part of her Montreal trip where she got bottle service and all that?
No. If I was there, Jasmine would probably end up in the hospital from liquor
It's probably
poisoning.
burning me right now. I knew it.
Well,
Probably roasting me right-
congratulations. You're in the mix. If you win, what would you most excited about doing? NBA, NHL, or NFL game?
Honestly, I got to see my boy LeBron. Got to go to crypto. Watch the GOAT before he retires.
Well, you'll have to get your own ticket for that one because we don't have a ticket for that game for you because it's Clippers Warriors. But congratulations, you're in the mix. Next Friday on the morning show, we'll do the grand prize draw. If your name's chosen, I'll give you a call, let you know that you're off to LA. You got to keep your phone on because you got to answer. If you don't, we move on to someone else. So congratulations and best of luck.
Awesome. Thanks.
Have a good one. He said if he was in Montreal with you, if you would have went to the hospital with liquor poisoning. No, he was there with you. And then he also wanted to see LeBron on this trip, but that's not part of the trip.
You're gonna get it.
Well, maybe you go to the restaurant.
You could still,
restaurant
you
and
could.
hang out.
I've mentioned it before that like it depends if Oilers takes on the Kings, and it's Rams Cards on the Sunday. We have tickets for Warriors Clippers on the Saturday, Oilers Kings on the Saturday, or Clippers Warriors on the Friday. Oilers Kings will be on the Saturday at 2, and then the NFL game on the Sunday. Lakers take on the Kings that night at Crypto. You could go actually get that one in
Wow.
as well if you really want.
Sacramento's a fun team to
So
watch.
be there.
Yeah.
Light the beam.
Light the beam.
2 more chances to qualify today. EST afternoons as well as the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Mill. GCL Diesel's Oil Stream pregame show also still happening 4:30 to 5:30 within the Reed Wilkins show and Jay with Jay. So they'll have to find a way to fit that in somewhere. They got to get the mystery player of the game, which they'll have a very short period of time to get that in as well. It's always fun when Reed comes up with his mystery player, and
it is.
He's good at it. They're difficult. He does a good job with it. A chance to win a GC to Hudson's. Coming up next, we do got the lock shop. It's myself, and I don't know which Cool Bet boy is going to be on. I texted them on Saturday. No one got back to me saying that they were good to go. So myself and either Pat, Jake, or both of them to talk some CFL, talk some NFL, talk some as well Paul Tyson. I'm sure if Jake's on, he'd want to gloat about the Leafs beating the Oilers. So that's coming up on the lock shop. And then at noon, it is the oil stream with Tommy and Gager. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This was fun.
Thanks.
This was great.
Yeah.
Well,
We will see
been on with
you.
you forever.
I know. We got to do it again.
We will see you.
Thursday, I think.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah, I had to
think
move. I
it's
had a meeting
Thursday.
tomorrow, so I had to move today. That's why
Thursday.
I just kind of walked in.
We will
today.
see you
Okay,
next
sweet.
Monday.
You better believe it.
On behalf of Tommy, Jasmine, Murray, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today